Good morning. Welcome to Sewing Street. I'm John Cole Morgan, and some of you may not have joined us on a Friday before, so welcome. It's so good to have you. We've got Block of the Week. I'm very excited about that. But because you're our nice and lovely early birds, we've got a really great early bird sale for you today. We have got this absolutely beautiful blue fabric. Is that not the most gorgeous, gorgeous colour? It's called Royal. And you're going to be able to get 2.5 meters of this for £13.96. Now, the most common question I get asked by people is, oh, what do I back my quilt in? What do I do this? Now, I personally adore double-sided quilts, so I always make a front and a back for my quilts. But a colour like this goes with absolutely everything. We've got these later on in the show, but you can see how beautifully they go together with a grey, with an ivory. But even if you're doing like the blues block of the week, oh, I can do it right here. If you're doing the blues block of the week, look how gorgeous that is. It really, really, really works for that. So it's a really fabulous deal that we've got here today. You're getting 2.5 meters. If you are doing our block of the week, that quilt comes in at 66 inches by 82. I'm not even going to pretend to be able to do the math on that live on air, but I think you may need to buy 2 of these and you'll have more than enough for your binding, your backing, for the blue collection there, and the brights, because if you look at the brights, look at how well this goes together. It's amazing how I had these completely strategically placed here at just the right time. I really wasn't intending to do that, but I just saw as backings, because that's such a great amount of fabric, it would work really, really, really well. And whatever fabric you're using on the front, you'll have more than enough here to be able to do your binding as well. So it's a really great deal to be able to do that. So 2.5 meters of fabric there. £13.96 for 2.5 meters of fabric. You're effectively saving half a metre. So you're saving £3.49, getting half a metre of this for free. But even if you don't need it for backing, this is a really beautiful, beautiful blue. I know that blue is certainly the most popular colour bought in all fabric shops. Colour of the year this year, and 90% of people absolutely love having blue of some colour in all of their projects, and whether that's all blue or just a pop of blue, it really coordinates very, very well with absolutely everything you're doing. So what a fabulous deal. Really great price, great chance for you to be able to get your hands on that. Really, really lovely deal, that. And that's the joy of being able to be here first thing early in the morning. You're the first ones to hear about it. Now, if you haven't shopped with us before, best way of doing that would be www.sewingstreet.com. Fantastic website. When you go on, don't be alarmed, you're going to pop over to the Jewellery Maker page. They're our sister channel, and they're very, very kindly lent us a large chunk of their website when we started. So they're very kindly letting us use that for the moment. Well, ours are being built. Unfortunately, with COVID-19, everything has had to take a little bit of a back seat. So that's still being built, but just it's taking a little bit longer because obviously we're all keeping up with the government guidelines, etc., as to what to do. So don't worry when you go into Jewellery Maker page. It's all there. All the Sewing Street things that you're looking for are all on that same page. So when you go onto it, www.sewingstreet.com, you'll have a nice big chunk there as well with a YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch us live on there. And if you're watching it now, hello. And then if you don't want to use the website, or if you just got a couple of extra questions, call the call centre. It's a UK-based call centre just down the road here in Redditch. It's 0800 001 4433. Lovely, lovely group of people. It's always nice to be able to... you're joking. Oh, love it. Sorry, I love talkback because you have totally different conversations. But what I love about this is, I just heard now that the block of the week, it's our 12th block, and there are only 12 blocks in this series. So next week is sashings and borders and helping you fix, because I've had so many messages, oh, my block is a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. Don't worry, I've got you covered. We're going to deal with all of that next week in week 13. So that's easily going to be done there. But if you've got no idea what we're talking about, hang about till 9 o'clock and you're going to see exactly what it is, because we've got the most fantastic block of the week that's been going on. It's been great. And the reason the block of the week was coming up and was so popular was our social media platforms. So let me just remind you of where you can get hold of us on our social media. You can go to www.facebook.com/SewingStreetTV, or if you're in the Facebook app, just type in Sewing Street TV and then you'll be able to get our Facebook page. We've also got Sewing Street fans page. So if you're in the search function in Facebook, pop it in there, Sewing Street, it'll come up with both of those and you'll be able to find us. Instagram, I have to say, I do love the Instagram stories and everything that go up. Make sure you check that out as well. That's at Sewing Street on Instagram. But I do think my favourite feature of all of our platforms is our YouTube channel, because every single broadcast that we've done, going back to Valentine's Day this year when we first had our very first broadcast, every single show is on our YouTube channel. So go into the video section on there and you'll be able to find all the different interviews with new designers, all my block of the weeks. We've got specific pulled out different demonstrations of different projects. It is an absolutely brilliant resource to be able to do, especially when you've been able to buy some of our things. Like we had a really amazing Amelie quilt. We've got the Victoria Carrington quilts. All of those were demonstrated. If you bought any of the block of the weeks, they're all demonstrated on there. So you'll be able to go back and say, what did John mean? What was that? And you can go back and have a little look at it. But also the good thing is I always give a nice little tip here and there and to make your lives a little bit easier. May not be the correct way of doing it, but it makes your life easier. So that's 10 times more important than anything. And also don't forget, oh, one thing just to remind you on the early bird is normally if you're buying fabric from us and you buy by the half meter, it comes as one piece and you can keep going. Unfortunately, the early bird is cut as 2.5 meter pieces. They're all ready to go, cut, waiting for you to go. And bringing us onto that, if you do get this piece of fabric now as your early bird for £13.96, you're going to pay your £3.95 postage and packaging, but that's it. You paid the postage and packaging all day. The rest of your shopping is completely and utterly free. You don't need to worry about paying the postage and packaging twice. If you check out 5, 6, 7 times through the day, absolutely fine. You only pay that one postage and packaging, so don't worry about that. And you've now got the go through, you can get hold of them as you go, because if you see something you really like, sometimes we try and keep our stock levels as high as possible, but sometimes things are really popular. Like we had extra wide backing a couple of weeks ago and we had the cream on and I hadn't even pinned it onto Susan and pulled it out and we'd sold out. So make sure you do check out as you go, because we don't want you to lose out on products, and they do go so quickly sometimes. So that's our fabulous early. But now if you want to message in as well, please drop us a line. We've got our Sewing Street studio, the Sewing Street studio email address, which is studio@sewingstreet.com. I just assumed I said that wrong again, because the other day it was sewing at Studio Street, which was totally not right. studio@sewingstreet.com. We really do love getting messages from you, and it's really nice to be able to see what you're doing. Please send us down any messages you've got or any questions, and just tell us what you're doing. It's been so hot recently. Have you been able to sew during all these times? I know I have. But I've got a really cool studio which never gets any sunlight. It's great. So please drop us messages on there. We'd love to hear from you as well. Now, coming up today, we have got a really fabulous couple of hours ahead of you. We've got the Thread Doodling book launch, which I am so excited about. And I made sure not to look at the book beforehand. And then we've got the Block of the Week, Block 12. And then Quilting Tools and Rulers after that. And then we've got Creative Grids Wedding Ring Ruler. That was on yesterday. That was that Sally Stevens. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I missed it yesterday, so I'm so pleased that's back on. And then we've got the Shaded Arrows cushion on at 12 o'clock. What an amazing 5 hours you've got ahead of you. And you'll be able to stay indoors out of the heat. So enjoy it. Get yourself a nice cup of tea and sit down. We're going to entertain you now with lots of lovely things. First thing we're going to start off with, the book. I haven't seen it yet. So this is called Thread Doodling. Oh, there we go. By Karina, oh my goodness, I'm going to go Karina Harris, just simply because I don't want to say your name wrong. Forgive me, Karina. But look at that. Now, I have got such awe for all embroidery things, mainly because I can't do it. But I think that just looks so beautiful. Let me show you there. Oh, now something I didn't tell you. This is for 1 week only, exclusive to Sewing Street. Can't get it anywhere else. Look at that. Oh, Karina, that is brilliant. Oh, there are other books by her as well. Love that. Look how beautiful this is. Thread Doodling. Oh, that's very clever. I'd never seen that with the pigs. I have to say, mindful embroidery, this looks like. It's definitely very much needed in today's day and age. Wow, look at these. Gosh, that's so beautiful. I love the Doodle Sampler on page 62. So, it gives you a nice little introduction. Oh, it tells you what you need, all your kits and everything you need there. Oh, I love it. And it gives you the stitch dictionary. I love that. Easy to follow. Oh, I can do that. A back stitch, I can do that. Running stitch. Oh, that I can do. Oh, the button wheel stitch. Oh, I think we're getting a little advanced there, Karina. But I actually think I could do that. Oh, I love the fact she goes A, B, C, D. That's very good. Oh, I like that. I love that. So you've got the words, the pictures, the numbers. That definitely would work for most people there. Oh, that's pretty. Couching. Now, you see, I've only ever done that on my sewing machine. Oh, I can do a French knot, apparently. I can do a French knot. Oh, I love this. It's got satin stitch as well. Oh, that's very pretty. But she really is talking you through absolutely everything, every single stitch as well. And I love the fact that that is a really beautiful rose, and it just shows you how well that is, how easy that is to do. But it looks so complicated. I love it when somebody takes something really, really complicated and makes it easy for you to understand. Oh, it shows you how to prepare a hoop. I didn't know you had to prepare a hoop. Oh, now I know. Gosh, that's very pretty. Sorry. This is the problem when I show you all the books and haven't read it first. I'm just looking at it going, ooh, ooh, I love this ombre. That is very pretty. Oh, Karina, you are a clever girl. Look at this. Oh, quarter square triangles. Oh, and I love the fact she's done different stitches in each one. Okay, this I love because colours I always find are a struggle. Being able to make sure that you've got the colours there of all the that she's used to make that work. I think that works really, really well. You see, all the hard work's made for you, and each one of these has got the different colour suggestions in it, which is great. That is really pretty. I was literally just looking at that and thinking, gosh, that looks like a mandala, and it's called the Lotus Mandala. Love that. So the book's got 22 different designs in either 3 or 6-inch hoop. These are beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. Can you imagine just sitting under a nice tree doing that ever so slightly, little bit by little bit, watching the world go by? That is exquisite. And look at the couching all the way around there. That is very clever. It's very, very contemporary to be able to have all of this up on your wall. And even as I've seen these being used as mobiles over children's cots as well, which I think is very, very pretty. Can you imagine being able to put these all onto a big piece of fabric, either as maybe making a jacket or even as a bag or something? That would be really pretty as well. Oh, that looks very Christmassy. Oh, wow, look at that. Gosh, this is very clever. Oh, look at that. Cerulean trefoil. I probably said that wrong as well, sorry. That is beautiful. Oh, look at that! It's a little traffic circle. Roundabout. We call them roundabouts in this country, sorry. Okay, they're called islands in Birmingham, I'm hearing. Look at that. Gosh, I love that. And what I love is each section is broken down as to what you've got to do and how you do it. Loving this. That is beautiful. Wow, that's a topography, so that'd be like the looking at a hill. Oh, pardon me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. The aircon blowing on me is dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful, but gosh, it does catch you on your throat there. But this little one here, it looks like the top of a hill looking down. It's fabulous. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, wow, look at that. And I love that this is broken down in the different steps and how you build it up. That's very clever. Oh my goodness, so this is how you transfer the designs on as well. I love the fact it explains to you how to do this, because I won't deny, I was looking at that and thinking, one of my stars would be small, one of them would be about that big, one would have 12 ends, but this then you go and you're able to then trace them all out and put them onto your stitching, your canvas there. Gosh, this is so brilliant. Especially if you're just starting to, just thinking about starting embroidery. I have to say, I do look at this and I think I could definitely see myself giving this a go. Oh, I love that. And what I loved about that is that gives you the different samples of all the stitches you've got described to you in the book. Oh, and that's our little maze where you go in and you go around and find your way around the maze to the middle. And you can do this on anything. You can put this onto any form of canvas or any form of fabric. Can you imagine doing one of these in a dark blue background and then doing a white outline and then just doing some lovely different colours on the inside? That would be beautiful. Oh, and there's our little traffic island. These. Oh no, there's our traffic island, sorry. They do look the same. Ah. One's called one, one's called the other. I love all of these. They're really lovely. There's our little mountain. Oh, wow, look at these. They look so different when they're just drawn out like this. And you can see these templates are really, really beautifully done and very, very clear. So to transfer these onto your fabric is going to be very easily done. Loving this. Oh, that's brilliant. Now, I'm just hearing that in all of this, if you are interested in doing the book, we've actually got a little video on our YouTube page. I told you, it's one of the best things that we've got on our personally, I adore the YouTube page because I keep looking at it and finding different things. What was the lady's name? Helen McCook has done host. Oh, she's done a different piece, not in the book, but she did a piece called Host Trinity, and you'll be able to go and catch that up on YouTube to be able to see top tips on how to do that. So make sure you pop onto our YouTube page as well and have a look for that. This is the most fabulous little book called Thread Doodling by Karina Envelson Harris. I'm hoping I said that wrong. If I didn't, I apologise. I'm hearing I'm being forced to say the names a lot more through the show. Karina Envelson Harris. I'm so sorry, I probably said that wrong completely, but what a beautiful book. Absolutely lovely. Exclusive to Sewing Street for the whole week. Really can't get it anywhere else. You may be able to order it in advance, but you can get it today. Postage and packaging is already sorted. If you've got your early bird, that will get out to you the next couple of days. You'll have it before then. Wow, I'm not surprised. Speaking of the early bird, more than half of our stock has gone on this as well. So if you've got that in your basket, I'm just hearing you've got a lot of people with the early bird in your basket. More than half has gone already. That's what I'm saying. These deals, they come up. They're such great deals. And if you haven't checked out, unfortunately, it's not yours yet. So make sure you do check that out. Now that we've done this wonderful book, we've also now got a couple of embroidery bits to go with this wonderful book. Everything you could possibly need or want for your embroidery is available to you today. This box we've had on before and it is so brilliant. Absolutely adore this box. You've got your box which has got, I'm going to just flip it around to show you the back. You've got all these wonderful different compartments to put everything in. You're going to get a set of random skeins by DMC. So these will be completely random. And you're going to get these 100 paper bobbins. Now, I adore these paper bobbins because what you do... Oh, I'm going to grab one out of the kit. There we go. So what you do... Do we have the little bobbin winder? Blast. So not in this hour, but if you check our website, we've got a bobbin winder. And what you do is you put that section into the bobbin winder holder. You put your... sorry, I've got that the wrong way around. You put the bobbin winder over there. You take your skein and you put through the little... there's a little ridge there. You pop the thread through there. Click the bobbin winder or start winding the bobbin winder and it automatically winds your threads for you. And they're really, really inexpensive. So do check out the bobbin winder as well because you're going to get 100 of these. And once you've got them in all your different colorways, you can then store them in all your little rainbow as you go. My top tip though, what I would say is once you've wound it or before you start winding it, take this little sleeve off and pop it on under the thread that you're going to wind on, because then you'll always know which colour it is that you've got and which brand, because by popping them underneath there you'll never lose them because they're right under your thread. So you're going to get 10 assorted threads from the DMC. You're getting 100 of these wonderful little paper bobbins, and you're getting the box. Now the box alone is worth more than £10 in my opinion, and then you've got all these wonderful skeins. So the last time I bought a DMC skein, I know that I paid, I think it was £1.80 per skein. And admittedly I got to choose the colours on that, but you can see there is so much thread on all of these. There are such wonderful colours that you've got here, but yours will come as a little mix and match. Lucky dip. But the great thing is, with all of these colours, it doesn't matter what pattern with the book that I've just shown you, you can see they're all different colours here. So it wouldn't matter if you use these colourways, or if I just took the colours that I've got. So I've got a big bright orange, so I can use the big bright orange. I've got a teal, which I can put in the middle there. I need a light green. Look, I've got a light green. But then, for example, if I didn't want to use the purple, because I don't have a purple, that would go so beautifully together as well. So I actually quite like the little lucky dip effect on it, because you get to create something uniquely yours. And I love that. So you get 10 of these as well. And the great thing is it's a happy little surprise seeing what you're going to get. So you're getting the wonderful box, 100 of those paper bobbins, you're getting 10 of those different embroidery threads, is a random selection, and you're getting all of that for £9.99. It's such a great deal, and what I love about this box is that as you build them up, you can build this wonderful little rainbow of colours in your box. I love this. Oh, we've got a picture in from somebody who's actually done that. Oh, I love that. Is that from Jeanette Gustafson? I know Jeanette Gustafson. She is the most talented crafter, and I've seen so many of her. She won Block of the Week, not Block of the Week, Make of the Week a couple of weeks ago. She's very talented. Jeanette, that looks stunning. Oh, and don't forget, we've got Make of the Week later on at 11 o'clock. But I love that little rainbow. You see, I'm very obsessive with things like this. I would actually end up having 3 or 4 of these boxes, and I'd have a blue and green box, and I'd have a purple and red box. Or if you get 7 of them, and I know this is obscene because I've got an enormous studio with lots of space, but you can then have all your little rainbow boxes and all your different yellows and browns in each one, because you know how many different yellows there are in this range. But it's a fabulous, fabulous deal. Then at £9.99, you're getting 10 free skeins anyway, so you're starting your trip already. Now, speaking of the threads that you're getting, in case you need some more, we're going to start with the brights one. These are absolutely amazing. How many are we getting in here? Was it 36 skeins? And there are 8 meters in each skein. But look at all these different colours. Look at all these different colours. There we go. Look at all these brilliant colours. And what I like is you've got this really, really bright colourway on here, which is fabulous. But then if you're looking at it, you're thinking, that could be a little bit too bright for all of the colours I'm doing. You've got some slightly more muted colours on the back, but equally as bright and bold and vivid. I absolutely adore these colours. Look at that pink. And I love that blue. Really beautiful there. And of course, this grey and the pink go so well together there. Loving that. And then you've got these really beautiful colours on the other side. So there are 36 skeins here, and these are £9.99. That is just such an incredible deal, and you can see most of these colours would work so, so well with this book that Karina's made, we showed you earlier. Really, really lovely. Now, if the brights perhaps are a little bit too bright for you, don't worry, we've got you covered. We've got the pastels. The colours are just very, very similar. They just toned down a little bit. See, for myself, at that price as well, I would be getting both. But we all know I'm a little bit extreme with things like that. But just look at that. Now, I'm sorry. Does that not just look like a little row of sweeties that you just want to eat? It's kind of little bits of ice cream. I'm just thinking Neapolitan ice cream with all these beautiful colours over there. I love that. And again, we've got this gorgeous grey and that gorgeous gold there. Look how beautiful they are. And you can just see these really work so, so well together. Now, I'm going to show you the two together, because if you are thinking of getting them together, look at that. They flow so beautifully together. And what you're missing in the pastels, you definitely got in the brights. So you can see it's a really great combo. At the moment, we've got the pastel one on screen. and that's what's available for $9.99, and the brights are $9.99 as well. But you can see 36 skeins, each of which is 8 meters long. Do you want to work out at 36 times 8? I'm not even going to try and do that in my head. I know it's over 210, 240, 264? 288 meters. I don't know if that's right or not, but somebody's device has just told me that it's 288 meters of thread in there for $9.99, and I'm not going to make them take $9.99 and divide it by 288. It's a really, really great deal, these two. I absolutely love those. And what I love about it as well is that if you've not tried embroidery before and you want to give it a go, you know, you're not spending enormous sums of money. You know you're going to make 2 or 3 beautiful, beautiful pieces, even if it's just as a trial. These are really great prices to be able to do that. You've got 22 designs in the book, so it's a really lovely way to just try it, give it a go. You might fall madly in love with it. That's how I got into my quilting things. I thought, oh, I'll just try it. Go and buy some fabric and that, well, yes, anyway, that journey's been a little bit more expensive than I expected it to be. Now, if you're going to be doing this, you're obviously going to need some needles as well. So we've got 2 types of needles here. Which one would you like me to start with? We've got this wonderful pack of 3. They're called double tip central eyes. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know what they do, but they've got a little eye in the center there. The eye is in the middle, and you can, I love saying this, you can stab that way and you can stab that way. I think my favorite piece of embroidery ever is, don't mess with me, I know how to stab things. I stabbed this piece of fabric 36,000 times to tell you how annoyed I am. And I love that because that's why I always refer to any form of embroidery needle as stabbing, because it's very mindful, because you can get all your frustrations out on an inanimate object and you're making something really beautiful. On these, right, okay, so all of you, I'm going to have to give you a little bit of a stock warning. If you are wanting to get these double-sided, the double tip pack of 3, we are down to single figures on this. So obviously our very savvy shoppers have seen the price that we've got on this amazing product and have scooped it all up. So if you are going to get these, you might want to buy something with it. Make sure you get some of those threads or this beautiful book as well. Maybe get an organizer even, because these needles would go really, really well in this bigger plate. You can see we've got this wonderful big box over here. That would then slot in nicely there. Oh, I think you might need to trim the edge off there, but it does fit into that little section there when you do a little bit of trimming on the edge there. And it's a nice way to be able to store your needles. Now, these are down to single figures, the 3, so please make sure you check on with that. And then, if you're wanting to get the embroidery and crewel needles, these are brilliant because you're getting 16 of them, and the sizes are going from 5 to 10. And if I'm not mistaken, 10 is bigger than the 5. I might be completely wrong with that, but if I am, forgive me, I am trying it. That can't be $1.99. This is incredible. I can't believe you're getting 16 needles there for $1.99. Such a great deal. But you see, these are one of those things that when you're buying one of the books and everything, and you're never going to go short, you always need needles. I really, really love these. So you've got the 2 different, you're getting 2 of each needle size, so 5 to 10. NB, largest size number is a finer needle. For embroidery and crewel needles have longer eyes and are ideal for threading stranded cotton. Gosh, they're very clever, aren't they? So those are the 16 needles available for $1.99. And if you are going to get this wonderful book that we've got available, exclusive to Sewing Street today, and for the rest of the week, nowhere else in the country is going to be able to have this available. We have got those available to ship today. So do make sure you check this out. This is by Karina Envelson Harris. Hopefully I've said that wrong, because Karina, if I've got it wrong, I'm really, really sorry. And, sorry, say that again? Oh, yes. So we have to thank our lovely friends at Search Press for giving us the exclusivity on this. We're very, very proud to have a partnership with you, and it's a wonderful way to be able to promote such fabulous, fabulous books. Now, we mentioned very briefly about embroidery hoops because we've got in here, did you say it was 3 and 6? 3 and 6 inches. So the embroidery hoops in the book are recommending 3 and 6 inches. So this one is our 6-inch hoop. It's 5.8 inches, so slightly smaller, but you can see that is such a lovely, lovely hoop. And these are available today for $3.99. And what you can see is what they've done in the book over here. You can see that they've stored it beautifully in there. They prepare the hoop first, and that shows you how to prepare the hoop first. And then you pop that in there, and you can put a beautiful back on it as well. So you could potentially do it double-sided and then rotate them round. But again, just check the book on how to do all of that. But these hoops are really, really beautiful. They're great, great quality. They feel fabulous and very, very sturdy as well. And those are available for $3.99. Now, if you're wanting to start embroidery as well, it's nice to be able to get one of these hoops, to be able to add it onto your book as well, and perhaps one of the organisers and the needles and things, to just be able to give it a go and to give it a try and a start. Oh, the double-ended needles are now officially sold out, so whoever got those, well done. Now, if you wanted a slightly bigger hoop, this one is an 8-inch hoop. Again, very, very great quality. It feels lovely. And these are £5.49. I love that because it's got this little windy screw thing that you can pop on the edge there and make it a little bit tauter or not. I love that. So these are the 8 inches or 20 centimetres. And I love the fact that they're plain wood, because if you wanted to then decorate it yourself, it's a very simple sanding it down, getting some bit of rough on the texture, that's what I'm looking for, texture on the edge, and you can then paint these any colour you like, which I love the fact because they're 100% wood, beautiful, beautiful quality, and you can then just sand them down and colour them whatever you like. Or perhaps you can cover them in fabric as well. There's another way of doing it too. So that's our 8-inch one, 20 centimetres. And then we've also got our 9.6-inch one, which is 24 centimetres. Again, a really, really lovely quality. Lovely feel to it as well. It's got this nice sheen edge on the side, you can see there. But the great thing is it depends what size you want to start with, because some people feel more comfortable starting with a much larger hoop and making something a bit bigger rather than something smaller, because I think people get a little bit intimidated by that. But these are really, really fabulous. This is available now for $5.99, 9.4 inches, 24 centimetres. It's actually 9.6 inches according to this one. So 24 centimetres on that. But for 0.2 of an inch, you're not going to hold it against me, are you? So there we go. These are available there. Oh, it says 10 inches on the inside. It does. Look, it's printed. Look, it says 10. Maybe it's an embroidery term. I'm not going to pretend to know what that all means. That's really weird because this one doesn't have any writing on the inside. So this one is 12 inches or 30 centimetres, which is it's slightly thinner than the last one, but it's really lovely. Now remember, this one is available all day today for £6.49. And what a beautiful, beautiful hoop as well. I think that's gorgeous. And you can imagine, now can I jump around a little bit? I'm probably going to get into trouble. But we have got this fabulous panel by Alison Glass. Now the minute I saw those embroidery hoops, I thought, look at that. Now have a search on the website for Alison Glass embroidery panel, because I've gone completely off script. I'm not allowed to be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. But what I love about these is you can see when you put the hoop in, you can pop that into a hoop. And then if you wanted to do this one as well, so that would take it right up to the very edge, and you'd be able to use all 8. Oh, I've got it in the wrong place. Sorry, Joe. So this hoop is a 9.6 inch there, but imagine if you did it as a smaller hoop, you could do sections of it like that, being a little bit more modern in doing some bits and not. You can do 4 different sections using the small 6-inch one. But if you look at the 12-inch one, look at this. Now, I'm not sure you'll be able to get it completely. Oh, you would. That one you would. You might not get it completely centered because of the white on the edge there. But you can see what I mean with it's just such a beautiful, beautiful panel. And I think it works so beautifully with these hoops. So do make sure you have a little look on the website. If you haven't used our website before, we can just do you a little example now on how to do it. If you type in www.sewingstreet.com, you're going to come up with this page. And if you click on that YouTube thing, it'll be me going, hello. Now, if you go there, you'll see there's a search name, product name or code. If you just click into that and type in Alison with 1 L, and then the word panel. Now, we haven't tried this before. We're going to give it a go, and there you go. Then you can see you've got the charcoal one and you've got the ivory one. There's two of them available. Oh, what's that middle one? Oh, I want to go back now. What's that middle one? So you'll be able to see that's available now for £9.99 available those. But it's such a great, great panel. I've actually bought a huge quantity of these and backed a 110-inch by 90-inch quilt with those. And the great thing is you can do it with grey or cream. It's such a beautiful, beautiful colourway. But I do want to know what that middle one was. So I must remember to go and do that. But you can see as well, because we're also part of Jewellery Maker, and this is something a lot of people don't actually do, go onto the Jewellery Maker page and just look at the treasure trove of beads and beautiful accessories and gorgeous little things there. Because if you do end up getting something like this Alison glass panel, you'll see that you've got these beautiful little dots on your moth, for example. And then if you go onto the Jewellery Maker page, you'll be able to get the beads. You can see you've got these beautiful, beautiful big bold beads. So you can get some amethyst coloured beads over for those. You can get some beautiful sapphires on there as well. And that website is an absolute treasure trove. I'm not going to lie, you're going to lose an hour, just at least an hour. But it's such a beautiful page to go through and have a look through. Really, really well worth it. Oh, it was a workshop. Okay. I love that. Joe's very kindly now told me that that middle one where I said Alison, it was actually a workshop that Jewellery Maker run as well. So check those out when we can have classes back again. Now our early bird, we're doing a recap. We've still got stock. Oh, we've got a quarter of the stock left. So you can tell we haven't been on the show for 40 minutes and we've already sold 3/4 of our stock of our early board. So let me just show you again in case you missed it. This gorgeous royal blue colour, absolutely stunning, 100% quilting cotton quality. This is available today, 2.5 meters. So every one you buy will come immediately pre-cut as a 2.5 meter piece. This is available for £13.96 today. These are perfect. If you've got two of these, you're going to be getting 5 meters of fabric, £13.96 each. That is an enormous amount of backing fabric. And it's such a beautiful colour. You can piece these together very, very easily. So even if it's coming to you as a 2.5 meter piece, that doesn't matter. Because if you're doing your blues or your brights quilts as well, you can see these go so beautifully with this blue. I'm going to grab my blue quilt over here as I lay this out on the shelf on the thing. But look how perfectly that goes with your blues. Because I have to say, a lot of people have been messaging and asking how much fabric you need for the backing and this, that, and the next thing. This is 82 inches wide, 82.5 by 66 inches is the finished quilt size there. So that you'd probably need 2 of these in order to make it work. Oh, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, 9 o'clock, hang about, it's coming. How many? That is brilliant. These are selling really, really well. So if you have got that in your basket, make sure you check out on that now. We don't want you to lose out on that. Perfect. Now, talking about hoops and stands. Oh. Nope. What it was is I keep forgetting when you're detaching things, it's lefty, loosey, tighty, righty. But of course, when you're standing behind it instead of you never quite know which way is which. So this is a fabulous little feature here. You've got this wonderful hoop, and of course, it's got all these wonderful ways. So what I love is that if you are going to be able to work on it on a table, for example, you can increase the height of it where you're standing. So if you've got it on a table and you're sitting down and you want to be able to do this, you can get your hands in easily. But equally, I'm going to lower this just ever so slightly. If you do have issues with your sight, this is, I know I'm doing cross-product. If you are having issues with your sight, what I love about this is you can turn this hoop to be in the place you need it. You can put your lovely little light on. I'm just checking the light is going on. And you can then look through your magnifying glass to where you are and what you're doing and what you're stitching, and easily then be able to work with these together to be able to make it to work. And I think any tool that's going to make my life easier, I'm sorry they get all my money, because life is too short to struggle making things work. But look how beautiful this is. And the good thing is if you're doing it this way, but because one thing I find is if I'm sitting in a chair leaning forward, I get back pain and I'm a little bit too round to be leaning forward. So what I do is then I need to lean back in my chair. I can rotate that 180 degrees and I can sit back and do it there. It's great. I love that. But again, check out that demonstration by Helen on our YouTube page. What was the surname, sorry? McCook. Sorry, Helen. Go and have a check on there. She'll be able to see this as well. She uses this, doesn't she? Yes, she uses this as well. So it's a really, really fabulous little tool to have. And when you finish using it, you can see it all folds down so beautifully for you to then put it away. It doesn't take up any space at all. It's really nice. And you've got this wonderful little handle to carry it around with when you're finished as well. Well, I have to say, if you are interested in starting your little embroidery journey, oh, look, you can make it even smaller as well. There you go. I just realised you can make that even smaller, so that just packs away, along with all of your hoops that you would have already bought. You're packing them all away, they just pack away so perfectly there. So I have to say, we've got everything available for you to give your embroidery journey a start. Now, can I do this lamp quickly? Because I love this lamp. I absolutely love this lamp. So this lamp, okay, so at the moment, this is now, look, not plugged in. Not plugged in at all. No magic features there, and it is still working. And you can see you've got 3 different colours. So that colourway now is called Cool because, oh, oh, inhaled the wrong way, sorry. So this one is the Cool, so you can see you've got the blue lights there. But if I take the blue lights away, then you can get the warm lights where you can see they're a little bit more romantic for you. But if you want the cool lights as well and you want it to be proper indoor sunshine, there you go, you've got it available. So that is available as a standalone lamp here on the table. But now, I've not done this before. It could end horribly. So I'm not sure how this is going to... Oh my God, it's still on. Oh, that's what I was worried about. I was thinking there was going to be a long cable or something attached to it. So if you want it as a floor lamp, okay, my set is not tall enough. So I'm going to attach this now. You can see that's now nice and firm. Oh, it picks up as well. You then attach this back into there. If you undo the screw to start with. Live telly, what could possibly go wrong? Well, I haven't dropped it yet. I said yet. And then you just screw that in there. Now, I'm popping this on the floor. Now, it doesn't matter where you're sitting and what you're doing. And look, it's still working. So it's got this wonderful set of batteries that I don't think we've charged this for months. We charged it as a one-off and then just on and off. And you can see you can still change all the lights. There's no trick photography or anything here. It won't get hot. I've got my hand on it. It's not hot in the slightest. No. Okay, I have now heard there is a problem with this light, okay? If you want this light, I'm telling you right now, put it in your basket and click check out. There is one left. One. Not this one. One left. So you can tell, it's a floor lamp. This is how wide it is. Gosh, that worked as well. I'm doing well this morning. I haven't set fire to the set or anything. It's been great. And let's say, for example, you want to now not have it as a floor stand. What could possibly go wrong? This is not going to end well. I'm going to do this differently. Sorry. I love the way everybody's chuckling in my ear. They're just waiting for it to fail. They're going to do a blooper reel at some point, I'm sure. So if you now, say for example, don't want it as a floor lamp, because that's a bit big, but having it as a table lamp is a little bit too small, you can have it as a single use more words? So you've got this. Sorry, Joe, I don't know what you mean. Oh, yeah, you can do, no, I don't, oh, you might. I love it when there's a team and people are saying, can you do it without that? I'm like, huh, what? Oh, you clever man. There we go. So, you don't have to have the pole in. You can just do this. So you can do it that way. But, you know, some of us have got awkward tables, so you want to attach it, because this is quite a nice little clamp, but maybe your table at the top is too thick for that clamp and you've got a table underneath it. You can then plop that underneath, because mine's the other way around. I've got a thin one here, but I've got a really thick middle bit at the bottom. If you need to, you just pop that in there and then you can go, it's gone. There we go. Whoever got it, congratulations. What a fabulous lamp. Now, we are going to go and try and do our restocking and get this in as soon as we can. Where we are at the moment, it'll come when it comes. Sorry, we're doing our very best. But I have to say, Jewelry Maker, they sell these as well. They're really fabulous little lights. I absolutely love that. If I put that on. Perfect. Now, that one has sold so well, we are going to do a slightly smaller lamp for you today. This one is very sweet. I really like this one. Where am I? There's my plug. I'm still here. Oh, my cable's just long enough. And for a change, I haven't left the iron on. That'll be at 9 o'clock. So what we've got here is this really, really fabulous little lamp. You've got a nice little bowl. You can put things in that you want to. You've got your pen holders over here. I think only holds one pen. Nope, it holds two. You've just got to get them in the right spot. So you can hold your pens in there. You can put all your lovely needles and everything over here. And then, as if by magic. And it's a really bright light. But what I love about it is, now forgive me, I'm going to put it at you. You can turn it any way you like. So you can see my little zebras have just come to life with that wonderful light. So but it is very bright. Look how bright that is. So it's really great to have next to your sewing machine. It's good to do if you are doing any form of embroidery. It's really great to be able to get that really cool 100% daylight light on it. It's brilliant. It's a pure light LED lamp, and you can easily. I love that. It's a button. Who doesn't love a button? But you see, the thing is as well, you can get ones that you touch the top of the lamp and it comes on and things. I personally don't like those because I'm quite clumsy and I'm always turning things off. And then when it's in the dark, I can't find it to turn it back on again. So this is great because you've got that one standard button that you just press to be able to make that go on and off. Really, really nice bright light there. Again, perfect for any form of embroidery, any form of sewing, popping this on the side of your machine, being able to get that extra little bit of light on it. Really, really, really great little product this. And $16.99. Such a great product. Phenomenal price. Really, really great. But I have to now show you one of my favorite things that we have here. I adore a good light box. Now, can I leave all my lights on? I've left all my lights on because I want to see how long this lasts for the recharge. So what this is many of you who haven't used a light box before, let me show you a way of doing it. We've got this thread doodling book, a very exclusive thread doodling book available today. What you would do is, now let's say I wanted to trace one of these designs. Okay, so the light box is now off. I'm now putting it on, that's the lowest, that's the medium, that's the highest. Now I know on your screens it looks a bit weird when it's on the highest, so I'm just going to do it on the medium one. So if you've then got some freezer paper, where is the freezer paper? There's normally a box of freezer paper here. I hear the door opening. Oh, I can see now. Bear with. As if by magic, the freezer paper has appeared. Thank you, sir. So what you do now, forgive me, I'm going to just grab a piece of this freezer paper off. Now the freezer paper is on the website as well, so do check that out. So you take your freezer paper, you've got your template. And now the great thing with this light box is, now remember this is the medium temp, because if I put it on the... Oh, there we go. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. So that's our brightest. So then when I put my freezer paper on the top of it, that is what this light box just comes into its own to be able to have. I absolutely love that. So if you're wanting to do any of these different templates, you just simply pop it on the light box, draw these out. I absolutely love it for that. Now, many of you know, who've watched me before, I adore foundation paper piecing. It is one of my favorite things in the world to do. So this is really handy. Oops, sorry to drop it. I'm sorry. What I really love is you take your foundation paper piecing design that you're doing, because I always struggle cutting fabrics, and because the more advanced you get with it and the more you try and save your fabric on it, these are fabulous, because what you do is you pop your foundation paper piecing on there, just say that that's your design that you're drawing. Oh, you cannot see that at all. Oh, you got it. I tell you, he's very good, that one. I'll put it in purple anyway. So if you're doing that and you're looking for a piece of fabric to go there, all you do is you pop that on there, then you take your fabric and put it underneath. So I put my fabric under here. Obviously you wouldn't be using 400 layers like that. If I did just one layer, that'll probably make life easier. So you can see the one layer there, and then I put my piece of fabric on it, and then I can move that around to know, okay, I need a 1/4 inch there, I need a 1/4 inch over there. So I know I'm going to cut over there, and that piece of fabric is perfect for my foundation paper piecing. So I use a light box quite often in my studio. I actually have this brand, but I have this slightly larger than this one. And the thing is, I don't need the slightly larger one. This is actually the perfect size, because it's a really, really great size. I think I've got the A2, which is lovely, but I find I only use the A3 anyway, and it was twice that price. Don't tell my husband. So the great thing with this is that you do end up being able to use all of the area. This is 42 centimeters by 30 centimeters there, and it is really, really useful for doing anything like that. And it's also, you'll find that you're actually, when you're just designing, or if you're just a drawer, it does actually give you a totally different way that if you're just wanting to do a design, because I try and do more designs quite often, I do find I use my light box, and you just go on and you start drawing and doing your pieces, and you can then decide. And the great thing is as well, for colour, I find that if I pop colour underneath it with the light box, so you'll see here, popping these two, I think I get it. This may not be right for everybody, but for me, I love being able to put the grey on and then pop an ivory on as well, and be able to see whether they work together, because I do think that you get a different feel with the light. And some people have design walls. Not all of us are lucky enough to have the space to put a design wall up, but you can tell you get a totally different feel of the light. But also the case of, if you've got a design like that on the fabric that you really like, and you want to perhaps do a stitch mark on it, or this is actually probably better because you've got a whole load of echo quilting. So I can pop that on there. Now I've lost my pen. There we go. And then all I do now, I hold that down and I draw this out. You can tell I'm doing really well, doing it backwards and upside down. But you can draw out the design, and then when you're doing your quilt patterning and you're doing your quilt stitching and things, you can easily do that. But normally most of us hang it up to a window, and you know, can you imagine trying to hold this fabric up against the window? It's just not going to work. So you can tell you get all these wonderful designs, and it's easily able to do that. But doing it with a light box is so much easier, and it's just such a fabulous little product, this. And the brand is brilliant. I've been using mine for about 3 or 4 years, and it's still going strong. So I have no problem saying, do it. You won't regret it. These are... Are we going to do these now? Shall I just leave this on as well? Oh, I look a lot thinner from underneath. We're going to be moving into a new studio at some point, so can I have some uplit floors, please? Right, so we're going to start off... Okay, I'm being a bit dramatic with all the lights. Oh. Right, so we're going to do the grey one first. You need the code. Oh, now... Alison Glass, I absolutely adore her. Look at this design. This is the Alison Glass Sunprint Stitched Shadow fabric. 1/2 metre of this is £6.99. But look at the detail. Can you imagine embroidering over this? So if you look at all of that, if I just hold that there for 10 seconds and then grab my little pack of skeins that we had on earlier, the embroidery skeins that we had here, look how beautiful that would be. Can you imagine taking that beautiful, beautiful pink there on this grey and just stitching in between each line, taking some of the stitches that Karina is teaching you in that book, being able to do, if you did a couching satin stitch all around that line over there. Wouldn't that just be beautiful? It's such a lovely, lovely thing, this fabric, because it just gives you that wonderful ideas. It gives you all these beautiful ideas. And again, it's half a metre of fabric, £6.99. It's a great starter. It's a great way to just try it and give it a go. This one, I have to say, I think is absolutely genius, the way that Alison Glass has designed all of this. You've got hundreds of different, well, probably not hundreds, but you've got tens of different designs all the way through, and you can see all these incredible different things. So you see, when I said hundreds, you can see what I mean, because they're just so brilliant. Can you see that little ball at the bottom? You could then do each one of those. You could do a French knot in each one of those, doing different colours. And then the little bit above it, that I think that's an artist palette. You could actually fill each one of those little holes with thread to be able to do it. And then the moth you could colour like she did in her panel. And each one of those, you've got the spades, hearts, clubs and diamonds. You could colour those in into red and black. So you can see there are so many different ways of doing this. And then maybe you do a running stitch all the way through, or was it a blanket stitch or a running stitch? I can't remember. You could do one of those as echo quilting all the way through, and then popping all of that into one of our hoops. Let me show you this, because I'm thinking with a 12-inch hoop. You can just imagine popping that there, and if you put that there and you had all these beautiful colours coming all the way through, you could just see how beautiful that would be as a single piece. But equally, maybe you start up in that corner and then move it down and do one over in this corner. They're completely different. I'm just making Joe run around with a camera, can you tell? But you can see it's a beautiful way of being able to do something totally unique. And can you imagine a moth like that? That moth there, can you imagine all the different colours you could do that in? It's absolutely genius, the way of being able to do this. And I love the way that Alison Glass has made this a simple, neutral colour, because something like that, can you imagine using your pastel colourway for those? Can you just look at that? You can just see, just using maybe the first 7 of those in all of those, can you imagine how beautiful that moth would come out? And then equally, you've still got your orb over there. And if you then flipped it round and you did them in all those beautiful colours over there, and you've still got your artist palette, it's just a nice way of doing something very, very different and incredibly unique as well. So make sure you check out on the website for that. This one's available today, half a metre. This is the embroidery lace, and that is £6.99. Have we got these in the other colourway still? On the website, so have a check out. If you type in embroidery lace, this one will come up, but we've got it in 3 or 4 different colorways as well, so make sure you check that out as well. The website's got so much on it, so do keep going through there. Oh my goodness, how is it 9 o'clock? Talk about time flying when you're having fun. So I am so excited. Block 12 of my very first block of the week with Sewing Street. I'm very excited to bring that to you. So if you hang around for a few minutes, we'll be back. We're just going to change the set.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
If you love sewing, then you need the UK's favourite sewing magazine. Every month, you'll receive exclusive patterns. Follow simple step-by-step guides suitable for all skill levels to make your own stunning clothes, accessories and more, together with inspiring tips and tricks from industry experts. Join in and discover your love for sewing. Try Love Sewing today and get your first 3 issues for just £6.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hi there, my name's Alison Marion and I'm thrilled to be joining the Sewing Street family. I live in Staffordshire where I run a couple of sewing groups and I have a passion for vintage sewing machines and also applique. I've stitched in some form for as long as I can remember, but I absolutely love teaching and helping people stretch their skills and hopefully demystifying some of the techniques that can be quite daunting for beginners. So I'm looking forward to meeting the team and getting into the studio. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick and pick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Hello, I'm Catherine Wright. I'm from Leicestershire Craft Centre, which is based in Market Harborough. I love all kinds of sewing, but probably my favourite thing to do is dressmaking. But I also teach patchwork and free motion embroidery and anything to do with textiles really. I love to have a go at felting and crochet and knitting and oh, you name it, I'll have a go at it. So I started sewing when I was 7. My mum taught me to sew and the very first thing I made was an apron. But I'm a terribly impatient person. I just want to get on with the project. So I didn't wait for her to help me cut it out and I cut it out myself and I didn't know you had to have a seam allowance. So I made the world's smallest apron and my mum still has it somewhere. Sewing tips, I would say, I teach a lot of people to sew, especially beginners, and I would say don't get disheartened, take your learning journey slowly. Don't expect to suddenly make a ball gown or suddenly make a king size quilt. Build up your skills, you know, slowly. And I would also say the iron is your friend. Use your iron a lot. It makes your sewing look so much better. It helps you get things in place where you want it before you sew and is a really handy thing to have.
Hello and welcome back. It's Block of the Week. I'm very excited. So some of you may be joining us today for the first time because of our wonderful ability now to be on your TVs on channel 74. Hello. So what happened is when we ended up with the new normal of the world, everybody was stuck at home for a couple of weeks. So we thought, you know what, we're going to try and do everything possible to be able to give something to everybody, to be able to go and do something together, be able to take part in social media, share their blocks with us. And so we thought we'll do the block of the week. So I designed this block of the week for Sewing Street. It's exclusive through them. I'm so excited about it. And I had my name on fabric. I can show you. Sorry, I literally did do a little jig around my studio because it got John Cole Morgan's block of the week. It was the most exciting thing of my entire month that month. So what we wanted to do was to create something that was not only fun, pretty, and something you're going to enjoy having in your home, but we wanted to also make it practical. So we started with relatively simple blocks and building up to, you're going to need a big cup of tea for today. Just warning you. Got your cup of tea. You might need a biscuit too. So maybe get 2 of your biscuits because you're going to need to have a little bit of patience and breathe. It's really easy to do when you break it down bit by bit by bit. And I think when you do that, your life becomes a lot less complicated because it's just a lot easier than you think it is when you look at something quite so daunting as this is our block 12 today. Absolutely love this block, but you're going to need a cup of tea. Just saying. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you what we've done so far. So each week what you do is you get a panel of the colour that you want and you get the wonderful set of instructions, and the instructions show you exactly what it is you need to do for each one. So we've got 3 different colorways. The first colorway is our vintage colorway, which has been the most popular by far. You are loving these colors, which I totally agree with. Then we've got our blues colorway over here, which when you mentioned earlier about our early bird, the early bird fabric goes perfectly as a backing for this. Really loving that. So this is available, and that's our blues colorway. And then we've got our brights colorway as well. So we've got these 3 totally different colorways, which would then be able to hopefully cater for most people's color choices. So what we did is we had week 1, and this is now the vintage colorway that I'm showing you now. We're going to show you each and every block for each week and show you how they turned out. This is the block 1. Now remember, if you've already bought some of these, please don't worry. What's happening at the moment is we've got a lovely little graphic over there. That's the little graphic there. What that is for people who are just joining us today who haven't taken part, that bundle is everything. It's all 12 weeks. It's 12 instructions, 12 panels, all available to you in one big wallop, all available to you delivered in one big batch, and all you'll have left to do is the borders and sashings, which will be these middle strips over here, the borders on the side, so you'll easily be able to catch up with that next week. So this was our block 1, and you can see what I mean is we were expanding our skills. So that was block 1, and then we did block 2, which I know a lot of you are going to look at and go, oh, that's really easy. It's actually not, because with this is where you learn 1/4 of an inch seam. And all the way through the projects, what I've loved is that the social media side of things has been brilliant. So that was our block 2. This was our block 3. So not only are you creating this wonderful Irish chain through the middle, so if you break it down, you've got a 9 patch, and a 9 patch, and a 9 patch, and a square, and a square, and a 9 patch. But then when you put them together, you've created a circle with the dark dots. And I should have actually probably put that as a dark dot as well. And I did play with it, but if I'd made it a dark dot, you wouldn't have had the wonderful Irish chain going all the way through. But what I've loved is that people have changed the designs to see what they like as well. So that was week 3. Then we did week 4. And now this block was brilliant because now we started to learn how to make sure we matched our points. We learned about half square triangles, and we learned how to be able to make these and square these up and get them completely the right size to make everything fit. Now, if you've missed any of these and you do want to join us, don't forget all of our YouTube pages. All of these are on YouTube, so you'll be able to refer to them at any point, and you'll be able to catch up on all the tutorials. All of them are available for you. You can go back and they're all pulled out as separate things. If you want to follow me on my social media on Facebook, which is a beginner quilt. It's www.facebook.com/beginnerquilt. I also post these every week as well, so you'll be able to get them on there as well if you don't want to go through the YouTube page. Then we went to week 5, I think this was. Now this was where we're starting to now get a little bit serious, and our love affair, or hate affair, you decide, with half square triangles began. And what was really good about this is really where you learnt your scant 1/4 inch, because a lot of people made these the first time, and when they did them, their block was either too big or too small. Now don't cut it down. That's next week. We're going to help you be able to solve all the different problems with all your blocks being different sizes. Don't worry, that we will help you with that and fix that for next week. So this is our half square triangle one, which I think was block 5. Then we've got block 6, also half square triangles, but again you've just rotated them to make something totally different. And then we've got block 7. I'm hoping this is block 7. And you can see you've got a totally different feel here. And what I love is that's a half square triangle with a flying goose on either side. But it looks like a big giant rectangle, which I loved because it's just that lovely play on fabric. And because you've got these two pointing that way and those two pointing that way, it gives this movement to your block as well, which you aren't really expecting. And then I think this is one of the most impactful blocks that we had. And I know that, I think it was Jan Hill, rotated these this way, which looked so different as well, which I love, because then that social media side of things played a role, because you're able to join in with everybody, and everybody was able to play these out and say, oh, do you like this? Do you prefer that? And people have been able to say very kindly yes or no, and it's worked very well. Now this block, I will not deny, was a beast. It was horrid, and I didn't match my point up. It matched up perfectly there, but it didn't match up there. And you know what? No one bothers. No one cares. It doesn't matter. I learned a technique with this, and I did something really special with that. And I don't want people to ever get worried about the fact, oh, my block's terrible because I missed a point. No, it's not. It's made out of love and care. Now, by week 9, we were up to our nostrils in half square triangles. We were fed up not having any of it. So I thought I'd give you a break and give you a 24-piece block of a log cabin, which is not really 24 pieces, but it just was nice to be able to do something totally different. And what was so good about being able to do this block is that when we did our first log cabin, you could then see how much you'd improved on your 1/4 inch seam all the way through, and being able to then, you're going in a anti-clockwise circle, adding your pieces on to create this. So there was a lot of cutting on this one, but it worked so beautifully to be able to finish that and make it really lovely. Oh, and I've got another one of those, sorry. But then we had week 11, which was last week, and again, we were learning all these wonderful techniques and being able to do, you know, we're making a half square triangle with another triangle that you've actually built. So this was a really lovely block to be able to do, because you could then see how you're making your half square triangles and how you're doing it. And it was really fun to be able to make these together, to be able to show you how to do that. And then today is the pièce de résistance, which is number 12. Now it is, I'm not going to lie to you, this is a block you're going to need to take your time with. You've got an incredible pinwheel in the middle, not only with your white triangles, but also with your green triangles. Then you've got your flying geese on the side, and then you've got your half square triangles in the corner. But you can see the movement in this block, but you've also got that rigidity, because we've got these solid pink lines coming in. It just works so perfectly. And that's the vintage colorway for block 12. So if you are joining us for the first time today, those are the 12 blocks that you're going to get. The panels, all the instructions, that's the vintage colorway. So that's the graphic you've got on the screen there. So that's the little code that you type in. We have got these all available in the blue colorway, and you've got them available in the brights colorway. Now, if you haven't actually searched on the website for these, let's show you how we're doing that. I've just sprung this on Joe. He loves it when I do that. So we go and type in www.sewingstreet.com, and then you've got that wonderful search function in the middle there. So if you type in there vintage, there you go, you can see there, just click vintage, the very first one. what'll happen is all of the blocks of the week in the vintage colorway will come up and you'll be able to see there. So if you've missed one, that's the easiest way of doing it. If you go back up there in the same space again and type in blues, you just type that. Is it blue or blues? I think it's blue. Oh, that may not work quite as easily. So if we go back up and type in blue and week, there we go. Blue and week, you can now see that all of the blue colorways of all the blocks of the week will come up. And then if you type in as well brights and week, or bright and week, there you go. You click that enter, all the bright colorways will come up. So it's just, those are the easiest ways to find them. So if you're wanting to buy the blocks one by one, block by block, you can do it that way. We have got bundles of all 12 if you haven't joined us yet and you want to. All 12 of these blocks, so you will get 12 individual panels, 12 individual patterns, all in one lovely kit. It saves you going through and adding 1, 2, 3, 4 all into your basket. It's just a nice, easy way of doing it. So that will be your vintage colorway for today's one. If you are wanting to buy this on its own today, the vintage colorway, you will be getting your wonderful vintage pattern with our, and of course I've moved everything around, so you're going to get the wonderful pattern. Checking I've got that in the right space, and you're going to get the vintage colorway panel here. That will be available to you today for $11.99, and then this is what the block will look like in the vintage colorway. If of course you want to do the blues colorway, which I know that was our second favorite one, you're going to pay the same price, $11.99, so you're going to get our wonderful blue panel with it, the fabulous set of instructions, and then your blue panel is going to look like that. Look at that. But what I love about this is the fabrics are all exclusive to Sewing Street, and it's not just solids. You've got wonderful movement in all of these fabrics. It's a really, really lovely colorway and being able to do that. But also then we've got our brights colorway, which I love, and I'm just not surprised. It's just a lovely, lovely colorway. You've got the brights there, and again, you can see you've got that lovely detail in the pink. And then you're going to get the pattern instructions as well as that. That's in our panel there, and you're going to make the block that looks like that. Oh, we've had a message in from a lovely lady called Leanne. Hello, Leanne. Oh, she's completed her blocks up to block 6. Leanne, that looks amazing. And she's saying she's got lots and lots of bits left over. What can you use them for? Well, I would suggest to you that you've got one of two options. I love double-sided quilts. So for me, I would be using those, making the blocks again, your favorite blocks, or if you're going to challenge yourself, the most difficult blocks, because then what you're doing is you're learning the skill again, and the ones that you've struggled with, go back and remake it. If you've got a block that's slightly bigger or slightly smaller, go back, check the cutting that you've done, check your seam allowances, see where perhaps you've made a slight error, and don't beat yourself up about the error. This is to learn. It's not to criticize your work, because they're beautiful. Look how gorgeous they all are. So it's a nice way to be able to then just build your skill up and to be able to see a different way of being able to make the block. Otherwise, I'm talking to Hayley. Try it. Maybe hang on to them for a little week. See. We're in discussions. It's just, unfortunately, with lockdown, we haven't got as much staff as we usually would have. So it's a bit difficult to be able to say, oh, I want to do this and do things, because you've obviously got everything to be able to do. And everybody's a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. So we're going to make it work. We will do our best. So the block I'm going to be making for you today is this one. And I've decided to use the Brights colorway. Now, one thing to just bear in mind on every single one of these panels. Now, I will not deny I designed it. I picked the colorway, I picked the fabric names, and I cut it completely wrong this week. Because in the Brights colorway, fabric 2 is not pink. Hang on. Yep, fabric 2 is not pink. Fabric 3 is pink. But in the pictures, fabric 2 is pink. So you're like, what are you doing, John? You're driving me insane. Trust me, I drive myself insane with that. So let me just show you what I mean with that. In the pattern, you will be able to see we have got a referral, 2 seconds. You've got a referral here to fabric 1 being white. So when you look at the pattern, you will see that, oh, thank you, Joe. Where it says white, that's your fabric 1. So what we've done on the panel is that is fabric 1. Then when I say fabric 2 over here is actually pink. But then when I look at this, fabric 2 is actually yellow. Now, my top tip, which I didn't do yesterday because I was in a hurry, my top tip is cut this piece off exactly like that. Take your fabric 1 panel, a little snippet of it, and staple it to the side of each of your patterns. Because I promise you, when you come back to this in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, you're going to do exactly what I did. Take all your pink fabric, thinking pink is fabric 2, but it's not, it's fabric 3, and cut it all out, and then you've got the wrong pieces, and it's going to look funny. It'll still work, but it's just a pain because then you might not have enough of the fabric you needed for the other one, so it's just easier to take these little snippets off, staple it to the side of all of your panels each week, and you will then always remember where you are on doing that. I designed it, I made it, I wrote it, and I got it wrong. So make sure you do it. And also my other top tip is once you've laid your block out, once you've got everything laid out, make sure you take a photograph with your phone. Reason being is once you've got the photo on your phone, it won't be looking like that because this colorway is confusing with some of the colorways. It's what works best for you. I just found yesterday it worked a lot better for me having taken a photograph on my phone and I knew exactly what everything was. And by that, what I mean is, I'm just going to lay this out now. I might go a little quiet because I've got to concentrate. Live on telly, what could possibly go wrong? That's wrong. That's right. See, I've already got it wrong. So, anybody else talk to themselves when they do things like this? It's got to be done. So yesterday, when I wrote the pattern the first time round, I spotted a major error with my instructions, which was great because I caught it before we printed it. But I'll show you what the difference is. So when you do this, I'm going to cut all of those out, lay it all out. And at this point, this is where I mean take your photograph on your phone. Because when you're putting these together over here, you'll notice this has been unpicked over there, and it was unpicked again, and then it was unpicked. Oh, there you go. You can see there it was unpicked twice because what I'd done is I'd sewed this the wrong way round there, and then I'd sewed it the wrong way round again. So it is a complicated block, but I promise you, once you do this, you'll find it a lot easier. So what you're going to do the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of your triangles there, which is fabric 2. To fabric 1, you're going to sew these triangles together and you're going to make 8 of those. Why do I mention that? Because over here, you're going to make 8 of those, but then you're going to make 4 of those. So that was my error in the pattern because I made 12 of those, put it all together and went, what on earth have I done? So you're going to make 8 that look like this, and then you're going to make 4 that look like that. Now your top tip is the 4 that look like that are going to go to a dark piece, so fabric 4. So those are all going to fabric 4, okay? So once you've done that, you're then going to sew the pattern as it's laid out now. So I'm going to start sewing the middle bits together. Now, many of you have not done quarter square triangles before, and it is really, really easy because all you're doing is you're sewing your 2 triangles together. Remember we're using a scant 1/4 inch. So what a scant 1/4 inch means, when I look at, and I should have used a dark thread, but of course I didn't, that would have been far too practical. Week 12. You should all know what a scant 1/4 inch is by now, but for some of you who are just joining us, I'm going to show you. This one is actually a dead-on 1/4 inch. So you can see there's my stitch line over there. If I line that up to my 1/4 inch, you can see that that is exactly a 1/4 inch. So what I mean by a scant 1/4 inch is what I want my stitch line to do is to be ever so slightly on this side of my 1/4 inch. So when I fold the fabric open and I've pressed it open, the little fold over there takes 1 or 2 stitches, 1 or 2 threads of cotton. What I want to make sure that I'm doing is that when I press that open, that piece fits exactly onto here. Oh, come on. Now remember, everything's on the bias, so don't play with your triangles too much. What I'm looking to do is you can see that fits absolutely perfectly on top of each other there. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to make sure that you're not ending up, so if you were doing that and you had it all lined up and it looked like that, I would actually say to you, cut 2 new triangles and try again. If you've got it looking like that, when it's all lined up, I would cut 2 triangles and do again and just check there. There is so much fabric available to you. You will easily have enough to be able to do that and cut the triangles. The reason I say cut the triangles, because everything's on the bias, if you unpick it, anybody who's unpicked it and pressed it, unpicked it and pressed it, you will be able to see there is a ripple in your fabric, because when you're working with the bias, it's just so much easier. Save that for a bit of a scrap project. Just cut more fabric because you've got enough. You're not going to be losing anything. And just because you're trying so hard to make sure that these are as best as they can be, by not unpicking it, it just makes it that little bit smoother. I was going to say, I did have a foot for my sewing machine here. Oh, there we go. It's running away. Oh, and I've put the iron on. Who knew I'd put the iron on? And it hasn't set fire to anything under there either. So now I'm going to be sewing my scant 1/4 inch all the way down the seam. And remember again, you're on the bias, so you're wanting to make sure you do... Oh, of course you unthreaded. It's the last week. It's because you... It's the last week, but what we don't want to do is, it might not be the last week. Bum, bum, bum. See, now she's stitched perfectly now. Now the great thing about this is because the fabrics are completely exclusive to Sewing Street, if you're making these blocks and you make them and then you think, actually, I want to make a few more, we're always going to be able to get stock. We're always going to be able to get the fabric for you because they're exclusive to us. We're not going to run out. It's not like some of the other houses where you actually buy the fabric once and you can never get it again. These are exclusive to Sewing Street, so you can buy these at any point really, really, really easily. And all I'm going to be doing now is you're going to be making 8 of these in total. And all I'm doing is just taking my time, lining everything up nicely, getting it through the machine just gently. Because you're on the bias, just let the machine do the work for you. Don't push it through, just let it go. I want to sing that song, but I'm sure I'd have to pay a royalty to someone, so I won't. Brilliant. 1 more to go. Ooh. And there we go. So those are the first 4 that I'm going to put together there. Now over here you'll see you've only got 4 little sections left to do. So we're going to now do exactly the same thing. We're going to sew these 1/4 square triangles together. These are the ones that you've made 4 of, which are slightly different to the ones that we've made previously. We're making another 2 of these blocks because I've already sewn a bit ahead of that because I can't finish the whole block in an hour as much as I'd like. I probably could, but I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you then and I would just be distracted. So you're just going to do exactly the same thing. You let it just go through the machine nice and comfortably, making sure you're leaving your scant 1/4 inch seam. And remember, you've got this all on YouTube all the time. It's never going anywhere. You'll always be able to watch it. So if you bought the bundle and you just leave it for, a year or 2, when you come back to it, it'll all be there ready for you to do. And then very last but not least, you've got these 2 half square triangles. We've tried to make it a bit easier for you for some of them. You're just going to do exactly the same thing and sew those together using a scant 1/4 inch as well. Now, as many of you know, when I do my pressing of all of these, I am always pressing my seams open. I try and encourage people to try different methods. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong because I'm a firm believer you must always do what works best for you. As a long arm quilter, I prefer to do open seams because I think your block lies a bit flatter. But some people don't like open seams. It does take that little bit longer. So press to the dark side then. Maybe that's better for you. Just try it. And the great thing about these blocks is it's a different way and to be able to try something new that you've not tried before. So I think it's always important to just give everything a go and try it and see how you go. And I now had a wonderful pair of scissors. What have I done with them? Found them. I'd hidden them. I love these scissors. They remind me of my granny. She had a pair of these. These are on our 10 o'clock hour. Right, so you now have 8 half square triangles. And then I'm getting my lovely June Taylor pressing mat, which I love. It's a definite must. Right, so remember I said to you we're going to try pressing open. All I do when I'm pressing these open is I just use my finger, I gently open the seam. I'm not pressing anything, I'm not doing anything. And then I take the nose of my iron and I just gently press down on that. And when I get to there, I just hold the iron down. So I'm literally just pressing. I'm not stretching the fabric, I'm not doing anything, and all I'm doing is pressing the iron down. And now I do that 8 times. So whatever Andrew seems to think, Andrew is my husband who actually thinks it's impossible for me to iron. I don't know how. So I only talk about pressing. And he very, very funnily I came home about 3 weeks ago, and I found my ironing board set up with my little baby Prim iron, all my little Prim iron, saying, "Darling, don't you want to press these shirts?" So I was like, I don't know how, I'm confused. I'm very spoiled. And there we go. And you just keep doing this now, getting it all done nice and simply. I can't believe we're at week 12. And I have to say, I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing everybody's blocks. I have loved being able to see each and every one of your little journeys. And I've tried so hard to make sure I've answered all of the questions on all of your group posts and everything. I do try and read them and be able to get back to you all. But some people have dropped me questions and things, which I've loved, because I've been able to answer those then on the next time I'm on air. So if anybody does have any questions, we're at the point now where you're coming to the end of it. If you have got any more questions, we're on next week with the borders and sashings, which I'm very excited about. Got a whole big, sorry? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, so what I'm loving, I'm just hearing now that on our studio email address, which is studio@sewingstreet.com. If you have any block of the week questions, just pop in your subject line, block of the week. And what happens is that then gets collated at the end of the week. And I get to answer the question live on air for you. Or if you've just made the blocks and you want to share them with us, we'd love to see them. I love seeing them on the Sewing Street fans page and on the Sewing Street TV page. So it's a really nice way to be able to see what you're doing and how you're getting on and answer any questions that you might have. So this is now the not difficult bit, but the bit that you just need to keep paying attention to. Remember when I said to you, take a photo on your phone? Get your phone out, put it down, and lay these blocks out exactly as they should be, because even I got them the wrong way round. Do as I say, not as I do. I can't believe I got that wrong. It was right. Sorry. That's hysterical. I just laid it out wrong on the block. Oh, I love that. There we go. See, trust yourself. You know what you're doing. There we go. But that's really, really important that you just keep checking back to the picture and the diagram to make sure you're doing everything the best way you can and doing it as right as you can. And if you make a mistake, look, I made a mistake live on telly virtually every day. Not quite sure how I'm still here, but there we go. And there we go. So that is, wait. So at this point, triple check. Which one? You see, this is why it's really important to have your friends helping you along the way, because that was wrong and I'd have sewn it together. But it is really, 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 really tough. And I'm not joking, and it is completely, you've got to keep checking. Take your pattern. Check that you've got these going the right way. Check that you're doing it, because it is so easy to get it the wrong way round. And literally taking an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes just to check everything's the right way round will save you that unpicking. And if you get it wrong, do not beat yourself up about it. I've got it wrong on air. I then unpick it and it was right to start with. So it's totally normal. So the way that I've written the pattern is you start from the middle and you build out. So those two are going to get sewn together. These two are going to get sewn together. Those two are going to get sewn together. So I'm going to separate these out. So I'm going to first start by sewing these two together. Now, the bits that you're looking to line up is, you can trim off your dog ears, you can leave them on, whatever works for you. I'm leaving them on just because it's live telly and I don't have time to cut them all off. But what is important is when you're lining these blocks up, this is the important line that you need to line. So you can see when you fold your fabric back, the line from the pink and the pink need to be nestled together perfectly so that this seam here, when you press it out, lines up exactly like that. You can see that is exactly what you're looking for. You're wanting these to be perfectly lined up. So that is the bit that's most important when joining. I think it's step 3. I might be wrong. Right, so I leave that go, I press that down, and there we go. Right. Oh, love it when a plan comes together. So what you're looking to do is to have those points meeting perfectly like that, okay? Then again, I'm going to press my seams open. I'm still here, I've just disappeared off the shot. Now, if you are buying all 12 today, welcome. This is our welcome quilt. It's lovely to have you taking part in this today. Now, the next section you're going to be putting together are these two here. Now, the bit that you're wanting to line up is you're wanting to try, and if you don't get it right, don't get upset. You're trying to match that point up there with this point over here. So you fold those on top of each other. Now, I know this takes a little bit of finagling, for the want of a better word. What you're also looking to do is you see this line here, you're wanting to line up with that central line over there. So you can see that's lined up perfectly there. And if I fold this down, you want to make sure that you hit that point there. Now, if you are going to pin, the way I recommend pinning, when I find a pin, we've got a whole set full of sewing things, but the one thing you need is never the one thing that's at hand. And that's not because we didn't organise it, it's just because you then go off the cuff and figure it out as you go along. So what I've done now is I've put a pin through the seam over here where I'm wanting the stitch to be, and over here. But if I now take that and move my fabric, you can see if I move the pin, the fabric's moving. So what you're wanting to do is make sure that you hold the side of your fabric as tightly as you can possibly do, whilst keeping that pin parallel with your mat. Now, the reason you want that is because if you've got this slightly out, if it's pointing down like that, the bottom piece of the fabric is lower than the front piece of the fabric. So the back piece of the fabric is lower than the front. So I always triple check by making sure everything's all lined up, bring it back, hold everything together, a little bit of click your heels 3 times and pray. But remember, this is meant to be fun. I don't want anybody getting upset if they've missed a point. No one's going to give you a quilt back. This is made from love. And if people give, no one has ever lain under a quilt and said, oh, I'm not comfy under this. Look, that point's out. And if they have, send me the quilt. I'll love it for them. So there we go. You're now lining this up. Usual story, 1/4 inch down the side, slight scant 1/4 inch. As you get closer to the point that you're wanting to line up, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then what you do, put your needle down. The foot has now got the pin underneath it. I then hold that nice and firm and I pull my pin out. and then I go, hopefully matching. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh. The dance is important if you get it right. The cup of tea and biscuit is important if you get it wrong. Oh, we've had a post on from Veronica Jones on the fans page. Ooh. Can you show me? Oh, I'm excited now. She's used loads of different fabrics to do this. Oh, I'm excited. Now, that is ideally what you're looking for. Look how perfect that is. That is exactly what you're looking for. Brilliant. Well done. If you've got it, if you didn't, you're still amazing. So now what we're doing is we're going to be making 4 of those. Okay? Now, exactly the same as when we made these. When you put these together, you fold it together, line them up perfectly around the side. Once you've got all the 4 sides lined up, you turn this back to check that your seam line here is lining up with your seam line there. And then you're doing a 1/4 inch all the way down the side. Now, I've already made one of those, so you see I'm only making 3 more of these, but exactly the same method you're doing on each one. You line up that seam, you line up all the other 4 sides as best you can. Oh! Oh, come on, my little baby. Why are you having a moment today? Does anyone else talk to their little sewing machine when she has a moment? This is a fabulous little machine, though. They all have their moments. It doesn't matter how amazing the machine is. They all have their little moments where they're going, nope, I'm not doing it. Bit like me, really, with the ironing. There we go. I think little just rogue threads get in the way sometimes. Right, so this is my last one I'm making of these. Brilliant. Right, so now all I do is I press my seam open. And again, if you want to press to one side or the other, please do so. That's absolutely fine. Oh, I love it when I see this. Look at that. And I'm looking at the back. That's just the perfect point. You cannot get better than that. That is it. That is the best of the stuff. If you get to that point and you've had a really rough day, stop there. Frame it. Quilt finished. Done. Sorted. Oh, that one's pretty good as well. Oh, I'm having a good day with this. Watch me now do something that's catastrophic. Right, so that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and then that's going at the bottom. I do think the pinwheels are very, very effective. And the fact that we've got a pinwheel with a 1/4 square triangle, or is it a tri-square triangle, I suppose, because you've got 3 triangles in it. So there you go. That is now, we're getting closer and closer to being finished. So the next step is we're going to stitch that one onto there, and then that one onto there. Now, the important bit that you're looking to meet, along this seam, it doesn't matter. Everything will have a perfect point. This is the only bit along the seam that you really, really want to make sure that you hit. So what I would suggest is put that on top there, and make sure that you're stitching this side so you can watch where your needle's going, and you're going to make sure that you're going to hit that point. Again, on this side, you've got these 2 seams that if you can line up, brilliant. And the great thing is because you've got the YouTube page, you'll be able to come back to this at any point. You can pause me, you can go and watch through it, take it nice and slow. You can do whatever order you like. Maybe you don't want to do block 12 last, maybe you want to do it first, maybe you haven't started yet. There's so many different ways of being able to do it, and the great thing is having that resource of the YouTube tutorial available to you whenever you want to watch it, I think is a great way of being able to do it. Brilliant. I'm happy with that. Oh, I'm very happy with that. Sometimes these weeks go really, really well, and some of them don't go quite so well. But the great thing is I'm always going to make you giggle along the way, whether you want to or not. So that is what you're looking for there. You can see this is all lined up perfectly. I'm a hair out there and I don't mind. No one's going to complain. And now I'm doing exactly the same thing on the other side. Brilliant. So that is now, we're almost there. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4 more seams and the whole block is done. Oh, these are perfect. Oh, we've had a message in from Leanne. Hello, Leanne. Is it the same Leanne? Hello. Oh, she's so sweet. Leanne saying, thank you so much, John. You've always got great advice. You always make me feel very at ease. And what did she call me, a legend? Leanne, I adore you. Thank you. Oh, keep on sewing. You're so inspiring. Oh, Leanne, you've made my day. Thank you, darling. That's very kind of you. But this is what it's for, is I want people to feel comfortable. And I won't deny I've had a couple of classes where I've kind of walked out because I didn't feel comfortable. And I know how horrible that feeling is. And I just want everybody to have fun. This is about having fun and enjoying yourself. And if you miss a point, oh well. Oh. I'm just running on ahead. So all I've done now is making sure that your blues are in your fabric 4 is in the right place. I'm sewing that one onto there and that one onto there, and I'm going to be making that. Sorry, I just jumped on ahead. And again, what you're trying to do is make sure that that seam carries on perfectly all the way through. That's the only thing you need to line up, is that little seam over there, and making sure you've got it as square as you can get it. Now, actually, this is quite a good one to show you on. So you'll see I am a hair too short over here. You can see just that hint of pink, and I've got a tiny little bit of white over here. So what I do is I line this up equally. So I take a little bit off the pink and a little bit off the white, and then if I fold that back, I then move that up ever so slightly there, so I still match that seam up. So I'm splitting the difference where I'm out over here, and because it's only a hair, then it's not going to cause a problem with the seam allowance. It's not going to cause anything to be out of line. It's such a tiny, tiny amount, so I wouldn't worry about that. So if you are ever so slightly out on your blocks, split the difference, because then you don't end up with one seam being weaker than another. You just split the difference on them. And then this one over here, check that's the right way. Brilliant. Oh, that one's perfect. Love it when a plan comes together. Oh, I'm so excited. We've managed to be able to get the images in from Veronica. Not quite sure how she's done it, but let's have a look. All I'm doing now is pressing my seams open on those two little lines. Oh my goodness, that's stunning. Oh, thanks, John Cole Morgan. I have never patchwork before, and this is one of my main focuses over the last 4 weeks of shielding. It has also encouraged these two projects, each of which I have never attempted before. Oh, well done, Veronica. That's lovely. They really are lovely. And that's what this was for, because unfortunately, in these trying times, many people have had to shield and have had to stay at home or have been furloughed. And it's a very stressful time for everybody. It's stressful for key workers. It's stressful for everybody who's stuck at home and don't know when this is going to go back to normal. Nobody knows what's going on. We are all missing our friends and family. But what we do know is that every Friday, and hopefully every Friday going forward, we're going to have block of the week at 9 o'clock. It's just something nice that we can all do every week together and just kind of stay sane in this mad world we're in right now. So now the very last two seams on this is that seam over there and this seam over here. I'm going to talk to you very, very briefly about the important little spots along the quilt. This point and that point are your two top points to get on this one, and that one, and that one. So you've got 5 points along the way, and it's the same on the top and the bottom. So if I slide that down ever so slightly, you've got that point, and that point, that one and that one. Now, we've agreed if you don't get them, it's okay. You're going to be fine. If you do get them, woohoo! If you don't get them, woohoo! You've learned a skill, you've learned a technique, you've learned something new. It's something perhaps you haven't tried before, and you're going to be happy that you've learned it all. I don't want anybody upset about their points. So what we're doing now is exactly the same thing, lining this edge up over here. And as you know, I don't like using pins. You use as many or as few pins as you like. I've shown you how to pin it the best way. Pin the whole quilt if you like. I'm not, because I prefer not to. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. That's just my preference. And normally I miss all my points and it looks terrible, but there we go. I don't mind. So I'm hoping I've now hit 2 of my 10. There we go. So that's now all lined up. I put my needle down. I line this up here. Check where my seam is over there, so I know it's there. Oh, I think I got it. And if I didn't, oh well. And then this one over here, we're doing that. And now we're on the home straight. Oh. There you go. That's the dance if you don't hit one of your points. But you still got to dance. It's important. There we go. And you can see pressing your seams open does take that little bit longer, but it does give you a much, much flatter block. There we go. So what I meant by that is, just trimming my thread off there. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it, didn't nail it. Oh well, I did my dance, that's it, you're over now. Not allowed to be upset. Now we can do exactly the same thing over here. Maybe click our heels 3 times for luck along the way. Get that all lined up. Oh, I nailed that one. Woohoo! I'll do a little celebratory dance for that one just for good luck. That one's perfect over there. And that one over there. I'm quite sad. This is the last seam of the 12th block. But what I love, we've still got our borders and sashing. And this is just the end of the very first block of the week or block of the month that we're going to be doing. Definitely ends with a dance there because that is a lot better than I thought it would be. Happy, happy, happy days. Right, so I'm just pressing my last seam on block 12. Can't believe this is on block 12. And I do hope you're going to keep all your little blocks of the week coming up on our Facebook page. Make sure I get to see all of them because I love seeing all these different projects. And there we go. And then once I've done that, I give it a nice little press along the way, just from the top to make sure that it's all worked out okay. There we go. I'm giving it that little bit of extra loving press there. And voila, there is your block. Block 12, well done to all of you for doing it. Can't believe we've done 12 blocks already. Well done to all of you at home who've taken part and done it. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm loving that. So we've got 3 different colorways for this today. That is our Brights colorway, which we'll do a second one there. Almost as good. Now, one thing just to point out on this, I've just noticed. I'm going to flip my mat around. So, my block is a little bit smaller. Okay, so it's meant to be 15.5. It's 15.25 on this side and 15 3/8 on there. That is absolutely fine. Don't worry about it because I'm going to show you a little trick when we put our borders together. So don't trim it down, don't add to it, don't unpick it. Wait one more week and you can get all of these the same size. And if you don't have them the same size, I'm going to teach you a little trick on how we do it that way. That's the way I've always learned on how to do it. It may not be the way you'd prefer to do it, but it's an option. You choose what you want to do. It's your quilt at the end of the day. So that's our lovely Brights colour combination there. We've got our Brights and then we've got our, there we go. We've got our blue colorway as well. Now, all of you will have loads of fabric left over after this block. Doesn't matter which colorway you go, you'll have lots of fabric left over. And then we've got our vintage colorway as well. And that is block 12 in all 3 of our colorways. Now, if you do want to make sure, you do want to get all blocks 1 to 12, I'm going to show you all 12 of them in the vintage colorway just very quickly. There's number 12. We've done number 12. So these are all available now in a bundle. So we're going to go from hardest to week 11. And then we've got block 10. Now remember, we've got these in the vintage colorways on your screen at the moment. It doesn't matter whether you're getting the vintage colorway or the Brights colorway or the blues colorway. The bundle is all available. So if you type in welcome kit, you'll be able to then type, if you type into the search engine welcome kit, you'll be able to get anything. Any of the words that are in the title, you'll be able to find those on there very, very easily. I think this was block 9. I'm getting confused now. Maybe it was block 8. Yes, it was block 8. That was block 7. This is number 6. That's number 5. That's number 4. You can tell they're so beautiful. This is number 3. Number 2. And right back 12 weeks ago, number 1. So all of these are all available, all the tutorials that I've done, everything that we've taught all the way through this, all available on YouTube. You'll be able to find those very, very easily. And now let me just show you every single one of the quilts in all the different colorways, what they look like. So that's the finished quilt in the blue colorway. As you can see, really, really, really vibrant. It's our second most popular colorway. And then we've got our Brights colorway. Is that the one that's next? We're going to do the Brights colorway. So you can see that's what the Brights colorway looks like as well. Really fun, very, very vibrant. Now, if you're wanting to make that quilt, you want to do everything on that, really, really easy to do. You've got all the kits available for you. And then last but not least, we've got the vintage colorway as well, which is the one hanging here just behind me. And it looks like that. And you can put them in any order you like, and that's what's going to come up next week, is that it doesn't matter which order you place all the blocks in. If one block's bigger, one block's smaller, we're going to figure that all out next week. What I would ask you to do is when we're getting prepped for next week, if you have made all of the blocks, measure each block, write down the measurements of each one along the way. And if you've got 3 that are the same size, pop those in a row. If you've got the next 3 that are slightly bigger or smaller, put those in a row, and we'll get them all ready to be able to show how they go. Because the great thing about this quilt is it doesn't have to be laid out in the order that we've given you. It can be laid out in any order and it will still look really, really effective. I can't thank you all enough for your time over the last 12 weeks for this block of the week. It's been very, very, very exciting for me. And 1 week to go. Borders and sashings next week. Thank you very much. Hang around for a few minutes. We're just going to redo the set and we'll see you in a few.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Hello, I'm Catherine Wright. I'm from Leicestershire Craft Centre, which is based in Market Harborough. I love all kinds of sewing, but probably my favourite thing to do is dressmaking. But I also teach patchwork and free motion embroidery and anything to do with textiles really. I love to have a go at felting and crochet and knitting and, oh, you name it, I'll have a go at it. So I started sewing when I was 7. My mum taught me to sew, and the very first thing I made was an apron. But I'm a terribly impatient person. I always just want to get on with the project. So I didn't wait for her to help me cut it out, and I cut it out myself. And I didn't know you had to have a seam allowance. So I made the world's smallest apron, and my mum still has it somewhere. Sewing tips, I would say, I teach a lot of people to sew, especially beginners, and I would say don't get disheartened, take your learning journey slowly. Don't expect to suddenly make a ball gown or suddenly make a king-size quilt. Build up your skills, you know, slowly. And I would also say the iron is your friend. Use your iron a lot. It makes your sewing look so much better. It helps you get things in place where you want it before you sew, and is a really handy thing to have.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hi, I'm John Cole Morgan and I'm here to give you my top tips on how I go about enjoying my sewing experience. My first top tip, as everybody knows, rotary cutter safety. If you're not using it and it's not on the mat, that blade must be locked. Please be safe. My second top tip is always buy more fabric than you need. If you don't have it, it's always going to sell out. You're going to struggle to find it, and when you do, it's going to cost you a lot more than when you were going to buy it originally. So buy it all. You always regret the bit you didn't buy. My next tip is positive or negative, always listen to the advice and opinions of other people. Even if you ignore them, everybody has a different perspective, everybody has a different take on things, and it might help you along the way. The next top tip I have is always buy the most expensive and the most useful and the most practical for your brain product that works for you. Some people prefer different things, buy what works for you. And my last tip is, this is fun, this is enjoyable, and make sure you are enjoying it. Because there's nothing worse than carrying on with something and hating it and not enjoying it. You need to make sure that you're having fun. Those are my top tips and how it is that I enjoy my sewing experience. I hope they help you, because they have helped me. For more handy tips and demonstrations, make sure you watch us on our Freeview channel 74, Sky channel of 670, otherwise follow us on YouTube on Sewing Street, where you can catch up on past demonstrations and shows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back to Sewing Street. I'm John Cole Morgan and I'm very well lit. I shouldn't be, but I am. I love this light box. They are so, so good. We have this on in our first hour, so I'm going to show you again. Oh, we've had a message in. Hello. Who's that? Morning, John. Oh my God, the best ever gift to myself. I have used nearly every day for copying patterns in applique. It's ace. Love your show, John, and all the fabulous tips you give. About to start a crumb quilt. Oh, I love crumb quilts. Using up all my blue taupe ivory scraps. And now with today's early bird to make it pop. Brilliant. Happy sewing. Christine Coates from sunny Wiltshire. Oh, Christina, that is such a great, great message. Thank you for that. I love this box. Isn't it amazing? And our early bird. Oh, we're going to go. Oh, okay. I'm going to tease you with early birds. It's news. We've got news. But this light box is, without question, absolutely brilliant. Anything that you want to trace onto it. Where's my book gone? There's my book gone. So if you're wanting to do a template from this amazing book, oh my goodness, look at that. So all you do, I'm trying not to bend the book because, you know, I love my books. You can easily do, I've got two on there. But look at that. You can just trace that out so, so easily using your freezer paper or whatever method you want to do, or your iron-on interfacing. You can easily trace that out so much more effectively using the light box. And any form of drawing that you're wanting to do as well, really, really great one to be able to use. Or if you're on the telly and you just want some really good lighting from underneath you, it's brilliant. Great. I love these. And I've got one of these myself, but I've got the slightly larger version, which I find too large sometimes. This one is a really, really good size as well. Lovely one, lovely product this. Got 3 different brightnesses on it. That's the lightest one, that's the medium one, and that's your brightest one. And you can definitely see that there's a big difference, because sometimes that is too bright for the work that I'm doing, and sometimes I just need a little bit of illumination, and then sometimes you need a little bit more, and then you do need the sun staring at you. So these are really, really great way of being able to do these. So I mentioned about the early bird. So we were selling the early bird was, oh, there we go. So I want to break it. So we're selling so, so well. They called the big cheeses upstairs and we told them that it's selling so well. They've restocked it. Because so many people buying the bright blue collection today, which I think the blues are winning today, aren't they? So we've usually got the vintage being the winners, but today the blue is the winner, which I'm loving. But this works so well for the... Gone the wrong way. This works so well for the backing on this quilt. It's really, really lovely. And I think that that's definitely something, if people are looking for backings for these quilts, this is a lovely, lovely deal. We were very, very close to selling out on this, but then we phoned up and they've been able to give us 50 more of them. So we haven't got a huge amount of them left, but obviously we've got 50 of them left. So what this is a 2.5 metre piece of this gorgeous royal blue fabric. It's called Royal, and this is now, you're going to be saving £3.49 by buying this today. 2.5 metres, you're paying £13.96 for that. Isn't that the most gorgeous blue? Absolutely stunning. I love that. And then these will come to you, if you ordered 2 of them, they would be coming as 2.5 metre cut pieces. These are already pre-cut, and these are available for £13.96. It's brilliant. It's only meant to be until they run out, but you see what happens. When you're loving a product, we then phone upstairs and says, go on, give them some more. And they did. It's brilliant. Oh, yes, and that's on Monday, isn't it? That's Monday, isn't it? So, when I mentioned that we listen to our needs of our customers, 4-hour shows from Monday. Whoop, whoop, I'm so excited. Not quite sure how I'm going to stand up here and rabbit on for 4 hours each time, but I can't wait. From Monday, 4 hours every single day on Freeview 74 or Sky 670. Otherwise on our YouTube channel, every single day, 4 hours. I am so excited about that because we've been able to bring more products to you, more different demos, more shows, and now we're able to give you 4 hours a day. I'm so excited. And if you've got any requests of different things you want to see on the show, please drop us an email on studio@sewingstreet.com. Otherwise, on our social media platforms, which the best one to do it would be Sewing Street TV, which is our page. There's a message button on there. Drop us a line if there's anything particular you're looking for, or anybody that you've seen or gone to a class with that you think is exceptional. Drop us a line with their details and we'll try and get in touch with them and see whether we can get them on. It'd be lovely, lovely to be able to host them. So make sure you drop us a line on that because we do read these feedbacks and we're always looking for suggestions. And maybe you know somebody who's really, really good at a certain thing. Drop us a line. Let's see if we can get in touch with them. Nice. I can't promise it's going to happen, but we certainly will look at it and do the best that we can. Now, was it on Wednesday? I think it was on Wednesday. It was Wednesday. I was in on Wednesday and we did something so unusual. We didn't have an early bird. So I was like, what? What are we going to do? But we had something called the heat wave deals. And we had 6, was it 6? It was 6. 6 fabulous deals available to you. Exclusive, such extraordinary prices, really, really, really good pricing. And we are now, because it is so hot again, bringing them back. Bringing them to you. You have got until 12 o'clock today, so it's only for 2 hours, an hour and 3/4 left when the deals will run out. So it's one of those moments where we're going to say you've got, what's that, 97 minutes to go and order these. So let me show you what they all are, what these deals are. The first one is the wonderful fabric strips. So these are the spring pastel strips, the half bright strips, the rainbow strips, the pastel half strips, and the rainbow strips linear fabric panel. So if you're getting all 5 of those, meaning you're saving £20 buying all 5 of those together. £44.95, and those are 5 massive strip sets on there. They're a huge amount of fabric. £44, how much? 99? 95, £44.95 for that first heatwave deal that we've got left today. Then now this one was exceptional. So I'm going to take a breath and say, we Googled and did a price comparison just on the Elna 550 and just on the machine. Forget the wonderful extras you're getting with it. We were £60 cheaper just on the Elna machine, irrespective of the incredible bundle you're getting with it. You're getting the Alison Glass Remix fabric panel, the poly down crib size wadding, you're getting the brown and natural fat quarters, and you're getting that incredible Alpha 45mm rotary cutter. All of those together come to £51, which you're getting for free, and the machine itself is £60 less than 2 of our competitors at £479. for that incredible deal today. Remember, that's only available for another 95 minutes. So I don't want to put you down, put you under pressure or anything, but it is 90. No, it's more than 95. It's available till noon. It's now 12:15 on Friday. I don't know what date it is. What date is it? 26. You've got another, so it's 45 and 60. It's 105 minutes left. Sorry, my math is dreadful. I know I'm an accountant, so it's dreadful I can't add 60 and 45. But it's 105 minutes left, and that deal is incredible. I've been using the 550 today to do the demo. It is such a great machine. It's really, really nice to use. We've had loads of demos on that as well, so if you wanted to see the machine demos, pop onto our YouTube page and you just type in 550, Elna 550, and the demos that we've had for that will pop up and you'll be able to see how gorgeous that machine is. A really, really lovely machine. £60 cheaper than our competitors at the moment, as well as that £51 massive bundle of goodies that come with it. The next deal, now I adore my creative grids, as you all know. This is a fabulous ruler set. You've got the 8.5 by 24.5 inch grip rectangle ruler. You've also got the non-slip square, which is 12.5 inches. So these are really fabulous size rulers. Brilliant to use, very, very easy, very safe. And these are going to be saving you £10 getting them together. And that's available to you for, how much? How much? £45.98. Sorry, there was a blip on the thing then. I only heard the 98 at the end. So £45.98 for those two rulers today. Really fabulous and really, really great quality on those. And then the next one we've got, oh, these are really fun. We've got these fabulous alphabet panels. There's 3 of them. One's the traditional, one the bright, one the grey. And then we've got the Vilene Bonderweb. That's 5 metres of the Bonderweb. And that is saving you £10 today. £31, how much? £31.96. It's just such a great deal there. And those alphabets are so fun and interchangeable. Use them together or separately. Lovely, lovely colourways on that. And just the Bonderweb alone, you're getting 5 metres of Bonderweb. So we all know how much that is on its own. Getting a really, really good saving on that one, saving £10 on that deal. Next, we've got our fat quarter collection. We've got the purple floral fat quarters, the red and natural fat quarters, and then we've got the printed red fat quarters. All 3 of those fat quarter bundles, I think there's 4, 4 and 5 in there. £25.97. This is you're saving £10 on those. So that's a combination of the Hessian and linen, as well as the normal cotton for quilting. Really fabulous collection on those, really great. And then last but certainly not least, we've got our fabulous cotton poplin spots. We've got the white on lilac, we've got the white on red, we've got the emerald, we've got the white on yellow, and we've got the white on powder. You're getting a ½ metre of each one of those for £16.46. You're getting a ½ metre of each of those 5 beautiful colours. Really, really cute. A definite thing. Now, if you're looking to find these, make sure you pop onto our website. And on the website, if you type in the search bar at the top, is it a heat? Joe's on his way. You can just scroll down, actually. So if you go, keep going. There we go. Heat wave deal. These will all be available till midday today. So make sure you do check out on those. And at midday, they will disappear. We've got the computer IT man sitting waiting in 101 minutes to take them away. So do make sure you check out on those as quickly as you can. And remember, you've got the 1-day P&P. So if you do manage to get one of those incredible deals on the sewing machines, you're only paying £3.95. If you do buy the sewing machine through us, the package will come to you in 2 parts. You'll get the wonderful fabric bundle and kit from ourselves, and then you'll get it like I did when I got my 720. You get a lovely little envelope saying, well done on getting your machine, or congratulations, or something like that. And it'll just say your machine will come separately to you from Elna, and about a day later it arrived from Elna. So it's a really, really easy process. Only 1-day P&P. You don't have to pay any more to get the sewing machine sent to you from Elna. And it's a really, really, really easy process to be able to do. So make sure you keep looking out on those. We've now only got 100 minutes left. Make sure you check those out. So what else have we got on the show today? So we've got a show of new books. Really, really excited. You know how I love my books. Now, the first book that we had on today, exclusive to us today for a whole week, is this fabulous thread doodling book. I was going to say thread needling. I'm like, nope, that's not right. By Karina Envelson Harris. I'm 90% sure I've said that wrong, and I'm terribly sorry, Karina. I'm going to simply say Karina going forward because this book is so beautiful. We went through it at about 9, was it 8 o'clock? Look how beautiful all these different designs on there. 22 different designs, all different, all so unique, and you'll be able to do all of these with the incredible training you've got available at the beginning of the book. Great techniques, wonderful thread ideas. It tells you all the DMC color suggestions. You've got all the templates at the very end that you can easily trace out using your wonderful light box that you've got. You'll be able to do that very easily and then put them onto your canvas. It shows you exactly how to prepare your hoop as well. We had hoops in our first hour as well that you can go and look at. It just gets... I have to say, our 8 o'clock hour, I am going to do a little purchase myself because there are so many beautiful things in there. I'm loving that. I really think that's very special. And that for our thread organizer that we had available in our first hour, you can see that's how they've wound that on their own little thread organizer. I do like the idea of these pegs, but I'm not quite sure that pegs, my luck, I know I'd just lose all the pegs. And you've got all these wonderful techniques on how to do the different stitches on here as well. Really easy to do. I'm loving this buttonhole wheel stitch. We've got 1 week's exclusivity on this available. So Karina, thank you so much for being able to give us your book for a whole week. You can order this elsewhere, but you will not get it delivered to you for at least another week because we are the only people in the country who are able to ship this out to you now. We've got them all in stock, waiting to go. This is available to you today for $9.99. Such a fabulous book. And it's a great little starter book as well to be able to try doing some embroidery. Get that as a trial thing. 22 different designs for $9.99. That is not a huge amount of money on any of them. Really good deal on that as well. But we've also got Susan Briscoe's new book. Oh, I'm excited for this. Look at that. Ooh, I like it. So this is 350 quilting tips, techniques and trade secrets, a compendium of quilting know-how. We did have one of her compendium books in, 410 different. So this is the updated edition of it. Love that. I'm going to just look at the back as well. Good, I like this. This is the one that we had on previously. Lovely book, that one. So let's have a little look. And I do like this because I've not looked through this book yet, so it's nice to be able to see it. Love the colour combinations on that. So if you're just setting out on your quilting journey or you're an experienced quilter, this is definitely a nice little book of tips for you here. And it is so incredibly... And what I loved about the previous book is that it literally went down to the basics of exactly how you do everything, every single tool you could possibly need, what each foot is. Ooh, Bernina. I'm a Janome boy and my Elna boy. I don't... Look at that. And it tells you all the different fabrics that are available and what's easier to use and how you use each of them. Oh, silk adds shine to a quilt. It's available in many weaves and weights. I don't know what that means, but there we go. Dyeing equipment, shop-bought dyes, fibre reactive dyes. Now, dyeing is one of those processes I've always wanted to learn and do. I've only ever done microwave dyeing with Jenny Raymond. That was great fun. Oh, microwave dyeing. I love the colours here. That is really good. Oh, it's jam-packed full of different things to do. And the great thing is like, for example, if you wanted to print digital pictures, this shows you how you can do that as well. So it just gives you a little snippet of information on each one of these different techniques. Gives you a bit of information about the primary colour wheels, secondary, tertiary, I'm not even going to begin to pronounce that, complementary, triadic? Never heard of that. Quadratic. Triatic are the corners of the equilateral triangle overlaid on the wheel. The secondary or tertiary colours as individual groups, such as red, yellow and blue, or orange, green and violet. Oh, I see what she's doing. Oh, that's very clever. I love it. It's got a nice, easy flow to it. So you'll be able to read the words, not understand what that means. Read the words, understand, look at the picture and go, oh, okay. Oh, these beautiful Japanese fabrics. You can see she's hand embroidered all those lovely threads through the Japanese fabric, and I have that fabric. I think we all look at books and go, yep, I've got that fabric. Yep, I've got that fabric. No clue where it is, but I know I have it. And then this is all the different quilt patterns that you can do. There's the pineapple. And the great thing is, if you've got any questions about quilting or anything, this book seems to have the answers. Oh, I love these Baltimores. They are so pretty. I actually bought a quilt like that recently. Very, very old quilt. Got it in America from an estate sale. It was made in the 1880s. Oh, I love these. That's really cute. Cutting out your templates and how to make them from yourselves. It's literally got every single thing you could possibly want available to you. Oh, I like that. Cutting your stack and whack. Oh, that's a different technique to the stack and whack I do. Like it. And the great thing is that it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you can go through it and see exactly how to do different aspects and do different things yourself. Shows you how to do a kaleidoscope effect similar to the one block wonder theory. I'm not even halfway through yet. I'm page 55 and look how much we've learnt. And then we've got our log cabins, normal log cabins, curved log cabins, quarter steps, quarter log cabins. Oh, a random pieced log cabin. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, wow, doing string patchwork. So anything you could possibly want to know or learn is available to you in this book. It gives you the way of doing a flying geese method. There are two different methods to do flying geese. See, when I do my flying geese over here, what I do is I do my stitch line there. Half an inch that way, I sew another seam, so I've got a half square triangle for another project. I've got a bag of them somewhere. One day when I've got time, that elusive oh, I love that, sorry. I'll be able to sew them all together. Oh, I love that. Catherine Farmer made this twisted log cabin block. That is beautiful. Gosh, that's extraordinary. Inset seams and miters. So it's got a nice little bit of detail of every single different thing you could possibly want. Just give you a little snippet of information of each one. Oh, cutting out curves. I'm not sure I'd have my rotary cutter coming towards me. Gosh, look at that. That's very pretty. It goes on and on and on. It's brilliant. And I do love this isometric diamond paper. That's lovely. Shows you how to tack your pieces onto your English paper piecing as well. Oh, look at these string works there. I wonder. You know, it's a great quilt book to be able to have and look. See, I was just looking there, the string patchwork there, that block there. I was wondering if that was in the quilt. No. And I love this. They've used the selvages as well. Oh, the book's by Siobhan Toner. The quilt's by Siobhan Toner. That's stunning. Ooh, look at that. That's freezer paper applique. That's very cute. Oh, and then we've got Hawaiian quilting over here. So there are so many different options in here and so many different techniques and designs. If you've missed out on the compendium book that Susan wrote a few years ago, this is now a lovely addition to that. Oh, and look at this, the cording quilting in trapunto. That's very sweet. So it gives you a nice little insight into every single aspect of quilting. Different things you might want to learn and do. Just gives you that little snippet of information. Even down to labelling your quilt. Brand new to us today. Fabulous, fabulous book. I love this, that it's got all the preparing your quilt for your exhibition quilt. Very, very bold. I love it. The care and storage of quilts as well. Oh, there's that vintage quilt again. It's a lovely, lovely book, that. Available to you today, £12.99. Susan Briscoe's new book there. 350 quilting tips and techniques sorry, 350 plus quilting tips, techniques and trade secrets. We've got lots of lovely books today. And then this one I saw on Wednesday, I think it was. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this. Sensational Quilts for Scrap Lovers by Judy Gother. Forgive me if I've said your name wrong there, Judy. Lovely book this. This is £23.99, but just look how incredible all the detailing and designs in this are. Absolutely stunning. And you look at all these incredible quilts over here. Love these. Again, each of these teaches you the technique on how to make them, using odd shapes and bias edges, which I think is really important that you learn that as well. Very, very cleverly written. We had this on Wednesday, and I had spent a good hour afterwards reading the book because it's beautifully written. Another Benina girl. Oh, I love these. And what I loved about this is that it's with scraps. I think a lot of people don't actually know how to sort their scraps out because some of us just have so many. And then this just gives you an idea of different ways of being able to sort them out and to store them. And to colour coordinate them as well. So you can create the colour wheel and do complementary fabrics, monochromatic adjacent colours, working with the colour wheel as well. I think it's a very, very well designed book in that way. I think it's very clever because a lot of people don't actually use the colour wheel and don't have any way of learning how to do the colour wheel, so it's excellent to be able to have that available to you. I've got that yellow fabric as well. And it's great that we have all these kits and templates and things, but we always end up with fabric left over, so it's nice to be able to use that fabric in a really thoughtful, considered way, making something so beautiful. And I think at the moment as well, certainly people have got a lot of scraps left over from quilts and projects and things. This is a great inspirational book to be able to use all of your colours. This is actually based on this map over here, which is a frontal storm coming in over America, which I thought was extraordinary. And it's the freezing cold temperatures there, minus 34 degrees. And it goes all the way down to 52 degrees. So I'm assuming this is in Fahrenheit. But I think it's just incredibly cold all the way at the top, coming down to these lovely yellows down the bottom. And you can see we've got a little bit of Alison glass there. A little bit of confetti there. Love that. Now, we all have friends who don't throw away scraps of fabric, and I know my lovely Irene, she's got about 6 million bags of fabric. I mean, she's got one bag of fabric. Her hubby may be listening. So she would love this book. It's a great, great gift book as well, because it's so user-friendly. And it's what I love about scrap quilts as well is that each and every book is each and every quilt that you make from scraps is so unique because of the projects you've made previously. No one else would have made those projects. Nobody else would have that collection. Your quilt with a scrap quilt will be so, so individual. No one else will be able to have it. It's so unique. And being able to make something that is so unique for people is so special. Because nobody wants to have two of everything, or they want to have their own product just of their own. Imagine a quilt just for them with their own colours. And it's great for kids as well, because if you've got a bag of scraps, put them on the floor with your grandchild or your child and they can pick it all out, the ones that they love, and then you can make the quilt with that. Look at this quilt. This is a perfect example, having all these different colourways, and they can choose their colours as they like. And you could make a quilt there which they can be involved with, picking the colours. And that way then it's definitely a quilt that they would use because they've chosen the fabric. And again, look at that, split screens, really brilliant fabrics, lovely, lovely use of colour there. And again, you can go through your scraps, you can have people pick that themselves and make a quilt completely and utterly unique to them. I love this one. This is my favourite pattern. This is my favourite pattern in this book because I love the monochromatic greys in the background with these beautiful pops of colour all the way through. Absolutely adore this. And you can see there the teal shining through so beautifully on the grey. It's excellent. Very, very cleverly done. And it's really simple to do and to make. It shows you exactly how to make this as well. And it's just really, really cleverly done. Love that. Very thoughtful. And again, here's another teepee, sleepy tiny teepee town, which I love because you can make these all into little teepees, which I love. And you can see the book is so special. It's got so many wonderful, wonderful patterns in it. Really incredible designs. I love the circles on this. I think circles intimidate me no end, but I would certainly give it a go. Because this one, if I'm not mistaken, they're raw edge applique. Were they? Nope, that was another book. Sorry. That's the problem, having so many books in your day. You get confused as to which one's which. Oh, and look at this. This to me is a traditional scrap quilt where you're able to do all these incredible different designs, all these wonderful pops of colour. Because I think as well, a lot of people doing scrap quilts, they get a bit lost as to how to do them. And being able to make something like this, which is so impactful and so brilliant, I think is really, really important. It's great. That is so beautiful. But you can imagine if you're using your own scrap fabrics here, you wanted to do, you could actually do this as a sunset and do a bright orange here and go out to yellows and pinks and purples all the way out. It would be beautiful. And we've all got those little bits of fabric which we never want to throw away. And what a beautiful way of doing this. And even if you're not using scraps, if you're using your own yardage, you're not going to use a huge amount of fabric here. Because this one I'm seeing, you only need a yard of your orange prints, a third of a yard of magenta, and you've got all these fabrics. You're not using a huge quantity of them. So you don't need to use scraps. You can use yardage as well. It just, it gives you the quantity that you need for each one. And there's Judy herself. What a lovely, lovely, lovely book. Available today, $23.99. And as you can see, a very, very special book. Really, really clever that. Love that. Next, we've got our wadding. We've got two different types today. We've got our 80-20 wadding here. Don't knock everything off the set, John. And we've got 100% polyester. I'm going to start with the 80-20. Really, really lovely. Let me get this out of the way. Stay. Got our beautiful 80-20 here. This is a queen size wadding, 90 inches by 108, 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Really, really lovely. This is, I use 100% cotton. This has got a great feel to it. It's got a lovely soft finish to it when you've quilted. £44.99 today for the 80-20. Really lovely feel. And we wanted to bring you some lovely wadding that was just big enough to do larger projects. But what's also great is that you can use this for smaller projects as well. So if you were doing baby quilts or smaller quilts, you could cut this into 4 different pieces and you'd be able to have a 45 by 50 inch quilt. And you'll be able to make 4 of them out of that. So there's a huge amount of wadding in this. This is going to be 2.28 meters by 274, 90 inches by 108. That's a massive quilt. So you will have more than enough wadding to be able to complete any of your queen size projects with that. And then if that's not enough, we've got 100% quilt polyester as well. My friend Angie, she's been quilting for 45 years. She only ever uses this wadding because it gives you a nice 3D feel when you're actually using it. And she is able to then get the 3D effect much more easily on her quilting when she uses this because it's got that lovely loft to it using the quilting, I completely lost my train of thought there. Ever do that? You're talking away and then whoops, it's gone. So Angie only ever uses this because it's got that loft with it. It's that polyester puff, I call it. When you're quilting over it, you've got that lovely sort of semi-trapunto effect to it. It's lovely, lovely to use. This is a little bit lighter as well. So certainly if you want a lighter quilt on your bed, this is a really, really good one to use as well. Because I do think the bigger your quilt, the more wadding you're using, the heavier it is, which I love. I love not being able to move at all and just being smushed under it, whereas other people prefer not to have it. It's just too much. This is a much, much better one to use, especially in this heat as well. So this is available today, $29.99, also queen size, 90 inches by 108, 228 by 274. Really, really lovely polyester wadding, that one as well. And this is one my friend Angie's been using, and she's been quilting for 45 years, longer than I've been alive. I tell her that and she just looks at me and says, oh, shut your face. But also it's great, you can cut those down as well because it's such a big quilt. You can cut them down into 4 and you'd make 4 quilts of 45 inches by 50, which is a really good size as well. Lovely, lovely there. Now remember, heatwave deals, the time is ticking. We've got, 81 minutes left of our heatwave deals. The first one I'm going to show you in person, live and in person. We've got our wonderful fabric strips. There are, so I'm going to show you one half first. That's one half of them there. Look at those beautiful, beautiful colours. So that's the first set. Then that's the second set. So you've got more than two sets of colours. You've got two sets of colours there. Really beautiful. So these are roughly 22.5 inches by 2.5 inches each. There are 16 coordinating strips on this one. That's just one of them. This is the second one. Also, you're getting 22.5 by 22.5 by 2.5. That's one half of them. That's your second half. This is the Brights colourway, I think. Yes, bright colourway. And what's great about them is it's giving you just enough fabric to have a taste of them, but also then giving you a coordinate that will go really, really well with it. I love those. That's very fun. This one is called our Spot Rainbow fabric. So you've got, nope, these are the whole pieces, aren't they? So some of them don't change. So this is the rainbow one. Now what somebody did with these recently is they bought 4 of these, sewed them together and made curtains, which I thought was so genius. You've got such a great social media presence with all of the wonderful sewers on here. And they just show all these incredible different ideas that they have. These rainbow panels are gorgeous. These dot ones, really, really good. And you can imagine, I don't know whether she'd used, oh no, she may have used, she just had a small window and she'd actually taken this and cut it in half and had the rainbow on each half. It was really cleverly done. It should have been our make of the week. Not done, that's only 3. That's only 3 of them. Now remember, this is a heatwave deal that ends at midday. It is now 10:42, so don't lose out. This is now our linear rainbow fabric, so also got the rainbow, but you can see the linear on it. It's just slightly different, but equally as effective. Really lovely these. All 5 of these panels together, you'll be saving £20 on those, all 4 of them together. It's going to be costing you £44.95 for all 5 of these panels. So just look how much fabric you're getting. That's the 4th one. And then last but certainly not least, we've also got the pastel fabric strips. So this one is also 22.5 by 2.5. You've got those 8 there. And then equally, you've got another 8 over here as well, but totally different. How many? Oh my goodness. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we've only got our 1-day P&P. You only pay 1 postage and packaging all day. We only have 5 of these left. So if you do want to get one of these and it's in your basket, please make sure you check out now. There are only 5 left, and you know I don't want you losing out, because if you always regret the fabric you left behind. And if it's in your basket and someone else checks out ahead of you, you're going to be crushed because you're going to miss this incredible deal, saving £20 at £44.95 on that as well. Now the rulers, I haven't got the other one with me at the moment. The 12 by, so this is it in the rack? Oh, it is. Oh, you see. Just have to use our eyeballs and I'll find them. So this is 8.5 by 24.5 inch rectangular ruler here. Beautiful, beautiful ruler. I actually prefer this one to the 6.5 by 24.5 because there are occasions where you need to cut 7-inch strips. This is the perfect ruler to be able to do that. And I do think it's a little bit nicer having a bigger ruler for your square, simply because when you're cutting things out, sometimes you need to cut larger pieces, and having the 12.5 inch by 12.5 inch square and the 8.5 by 24.5 inch ruler, I personally prefer these because there are occasions where you do need to cut a 7.25 inch piece and your 6.5 inch ruler isn't quite big enough. Both of these available to you today. There are 5 left now, I'm hearing. We've got it at £45.98. You're saving £10 down those. So please, if these are rulers that you'd be interested in, please don't leave them in your basket for too long. Check out now, because we would hate for you to miss out on those. They're such a great deal. So either we're going to be able to sell that before midday, or at midday when our heatwave deals end, it's gone. And there are, hang on, let me work this out, 76 minutes left now available. So make sure you check out your baskets. You only pay that 1p&p all day. Now, my favourite words in the quilting community outside of Jenny Doan are Tula Pink. Look at these beautiful, beautiful threads. They are so gorgeous. It's got this wonderful collection of 10 different threads, 50 weight, all of which are 200 meters each. These incredible variegated threads are from Tula Pink, designed by her to work with her fabric. Absolutely gorgeous, really, really lovely threads. All of those available to you there, 200 meters in each spool, all variegated, all going beautifully with her fabric and many other designers' fabrics as well. Those are available to you today for $33.99. But just look at the sheen on this fabric, on this thread. Really, really lovely. You've got these available to you today. And these are perfect. It's 50 weight, so that's perfect for piecing, perfect for quilting, really good for embroidery, especially if you're doing really dense quilting as well. This is a beautiful thread to use. Using it for piecing, you don't get any lint off the fabric, off the thread when you're stitching, so your machine lasts that little bit longer as well, which is just brilliant. Really, really great thread to use. And it's Oriful. So anybody who's ever used Oriful before knows just how special that thread is. Really, really great. Made in Milan, in Italy. Absolutely beautiful. And these are available today. $33.99. 10 different spools. 200 meters in each one. Don't miss out on that. What we got next? Now, I absolutely adore these, and I tried to buy these a couple of weeks ago, but they sold out. Now, I have to, probably are, yes, that's why they're back, because I went and said, I haven't got my quilt hangers. Fix it. I didn't, I promise. So, what this is really, really good for, so we're going to pretend this is a quilt, okay? So, setting these on, it takes a little bit of finagling to get your head around it, but once you've got it, you're like, oh, that was so simple, why was I struggling? So what you do is you're going to take your quilt, and in this, I wonder, I'm not sure how we can do this. Can we show the little marble? So you can see in there, you see that little shiny marble? Maybe I can put that on a white piece of fabric. That'll make your life easier. Can you see that little marble? There we go. You can see it much better there. So we've got that lovely little marble. So when this is deactivated, there's no marble. When it's active, you've got a marble. So in order to work this, what you do is you get rid of the marble. There's no marble. You take your fabric or your quilt, you put your quilt in. Remember, you've got no marble in there. Then you drop this down. Okay. And now you can tell the marble has engaged. The marble has engaged. But then, you know, it's a quilt. You can't just hang it from the corner. You do exactly the same thing. Got the marble at the bottom, line your fabric in, you flip it round. There we go. Marble is activated. And you can see I'm giving that a pretty good tug, and that is on. So your quilt then hangs from these clips. But on the back of the clips, what you've got here are these fabulous little hooks. So these hooks you will easily be able to pop onto any screw, put them onto the wall, any attachment, and then what you do is that this then rests on the wall and the quilt just hangs beneath it. And these are really strong. I'm not sure what weight it holds up to, but it is really, really strong. And I'm actually going to be hanging a quilt in my hallway, which is 120 inches by 60, so a bit of an odd shape for a bed, but it is beautiful, absolutely stunning. So I'm hanging that in because I've got this massive staircase, and we've got a place there for a picture, so that's what these are going to be. So I'm getting 4 of these, and I'm hanging my massive quilt off there, and praying that it doesn't fall down, but I don't think it will, because these are really strong. And you just then hold those, and you can paint these, because they're wooden, you just give them a little bit of a sandpaper. There's no varnish on them. Is there a varnish on them? It doesn't feel like there's a varnish on them, but you can then paint these any colour you like, because I've got completely white walls with grey carpets all through the house, so these will be painted white, plopped up on the wall, job done, with my beautiful white quilt hanging in the middle of the living room. Cannot wait. So these are back in stock today, $10.99. You're getting 2 of them in each of your packs. Oh, and then to deactivate them, all you do is you put them, obviously you can either take them down, you just put it upside down and the marble's gone. Otherwise you just then, if this is on, Okay, so you can see that's on. All you do is you then pull the quilt back to release the marble, and there we go. It's that simple to use. Really, really lovely product, those. And I certainly am having those in my basket later. Remember our heatwave deals, they expire in 70 minutes. Don't miss out. That fabulous Elna 550 you're going to struggle to find at a better price, and you're certainly not going to get that £51 bundle of fabric and beautiful products going with it. So please make sure you check out our heatwave deals. Disappear at midday. If it's in your basket, please check out. Don't want you to miss out. And remember, we only had five of them at that one point, so if they sell out first, obviously they'll go off the website immediately. So what we got next? Now, many of us are right-handed, but we are also very lucky to have many left-handed people as well. And we haven't had left-handed scissors for a little while, but now we do. We've got our wonderful left-handed scissors here. I am not left-handed, but what I do love is somebody showed me a trick the other day that how you know whether a pair of scissors are left or right-handed is when you open them up, the blade that comes up is whether they're left or right-handed. So you can see as I open these up, the left-handed blade comes up. These right-handed scissors, which are not on the deal at the moment, when you open that, the right-handed blade comes up, which I think is very, very clever, really thoughtfully done. These are stunning Fiskars scissors, left-handed, but they've got the incredible quality of Fiskars. Fiskars have been going on for over 350 years. They buy different products and different technologies and different companies to be able to add to their brand and add to their products and be able to expand them and make them more brilliant. And that's how you stay in business for so long. 345 years they've been going. Incredible company, absolutely brilliant, and they are so well renowned throughout the world for scissors. And they always think about the left-handed people as well, which is great. And they've got these wonderful scissors and they're really comfortable to use as well. Not being left-handed, I'm not going to be able to cut fabric with them, but they feel very comfortable as well, which all scissors from Fiskars do. These are an incredible quality as well. Beautiful, beautiful. These are the usual blades that you get just going the other way. These are lovely, 21 centimetres, and these are available for $14.99 today. So really pleased we've been able to get those as well. Now we're talking of scissors. We've got our right-handed pair of scissors as well. These white pair, exactly the same as the. These are really lovely, and I have actually got these. I love them. So when we launched Sewing Street, we ended up getting an amazing partnership with Fiskars to be able to launch these scissors with them. And we had them at a fantastic price. But we just keep getting them in. We keep selling them because you absolutely love these scissors. These are 24 centimetres, right-handed scissors, white bases. These are a bit of a plastic base. Absolutely stunning. Again, $14.99. And don't forget, that's only the one-day P&P, not paying any more or any less no matter how many times you buy through the day. But now my favourite scissors, simply because of memories, is this lovely little pair of orange scissors. My granny had a pair of these and I always remember them in her home. Absolutely stunning pair of scissors. They are incredibly sharp. They're 13 centimetres from point to end. $13.99, and they're absolutely perfect for any form of little work, or if you're doing fussy cutting by hand or you're doing any form of embroidery. They are absolutely brilliant, and they last for years and years and years. I know my granny had her pair. Obviously it was a slightly different orange because I think she got them in about 1960. She was using them for decades. She absolutely used them for decades. So they are absolutely the most beautiful pairs of scissors, and you will use them for years and years and years. So do make sure that you get yourself a pair of those. You won't forget them. Now, each week I am so privileged to be able to work with with Debbie and with Vicky. So I was trying to say Debbie and Vicky at the same time there, where I got Becky. So with Debbie and Vicky, to be able to pick 3 of our fabulous makers, Make of the Weeks. We put these from our fans page, from our Sewing Street TV page, and we pull 3 designs and 3 makes every week. And the winner of each of those gets free postage and packaging on the next order. So if you hear your name being called in the next moment or two, please drop us a line on our Facebook page, Sewing Street TV. There's a message button on there, and we'll be able to message you the code with your free postage and packaging on your next order. This week's winners, it was a really tough race this week, is Deirdre Brislin, Julia Forrest and Joanne Hall. There was a very tight competition on this, I'm not going to lie. These were what their makes looked like. This is from Deirdre Brislin. How absolutely gorgeous is that dress? And look how happy she looks. Absolutely stunning. So, so talented. Congratulations on your make there. Then we've got Julia Forrest. Look at that. That is a Dresden of note. Well done. Absolutely beautiful. It doesn't look like a Dresden, doesn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. What a stunning, stunning cushion. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least, Joanne Hall. That is a bag of note. I love that. Absolutely stunning. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's from Debbie Shaw's book. It looks like it's from Debbie's book, you know, that you can... No, it wasn't. No, and it wasn't Debbie who chose that one, actually, before anybody thinks there's bias. Promise it wasn't. But it was such a great, great week. We had so much talent out there, and I love being able to go through and see what you're all making. So now it's all restarted. We've clicked the midday Friday. We all go and pop your makes of the week on, and we'll be able to pick that out. And every Friday, I've got the privilege of being able to announce that every week. So thank you so much for all of your makes there. You do make it very, very hard for us. And this week was incredibly hard. So well done, all of you. Please keep sharing all your makes. If there's anything from today's show that we haven't been able to show, make sure you pop onto our website, and all of the products that we had on today's show and some of the things we may not have had time to get to will all be available for you. If you go onto www.sewingstreet.com, you'll be able to see the YouTube live feed, and then as you go down the products, you'll see all of our wonderful heat wave deals, which are available for another 63 minutes. Don't lose out on those. And then beneath that, you'll see all of the products we had on our 8, 9 and 10 o'clock show, and you'll be able to purchase those from the website. If you'd like to call the call centre as well, please don't feel... Sorry, don't know where that was going. Make sure you give them a shout on 0800 001 4433. Lovely group of people, really nice to chat with. They are there to work, so don't just give them a call to have a chat. They'd love to, but they've got to work. There are lots of people wanting to place orders. So please make sure you touch base with one of them or onto our website, sewingstreet.com, and you'll be easily be able to do that. So we're going to just recap our early bird, because I think this may be the first time I've been involved where we've been able to phone upstairs and make sure that we can get extra products added on, because it was such a great deal and it was doing so, so well. So we've got... Have we got left? We're just checking now. But this blue is called Royal Blue, and it's absolutely gorgeous. 2.5 meters of that available. Oh gosh, we've got less than 30 units left of this, so it's been selling incredibly well. And if you work it out, 20 units that we've sold, that's over 50 meters have gone just in this, since we started this hour. We've been able to restock this, and we got an extra 50 units on. We've got 30 left of them. So it's really such a great deal. This gorgeous blue, 2.5 meters, £13.96 today. Gosh, look how well it matches my shirt as well. My little zebras running on all that. So do make sure you check that out as well, and our website has got everything on from today's show. We've now got 61 minutes left on our heatwave deals, so please make sure that you do check those out. We do not have a lot of stock left on some of the items. We don't want you to miss out, so do check out your basket, because we don't want you to miss out on all of those. What have we got on tomorrow's show? Who's in tomorrow? Is it Vicky? It's Vicky in tomorrow. So we've got our stash building bundles. Oh, I mean, I love those. Then we've got Girls Skirt and Blouse with Janice Hobbs. Oh my goodness, we've got a live guest in tomorrow. Woo! And then we've got overlockers and dressmaking tools. Now, I have an overlocker and I've never used it, so I'm looking forward to that show. Then we've got a repeat of today's show, being the Thread Doodling book launch, and then we've also got the repeat of our block of the week, week 12. So do make sure you join us tomorrow. That'll be from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock tomorrow. Rest of today, we've got a repeat of yesterday morning's show. I'm really sorry, because I should remember that, but I don't. And we've got Sally Stevens with the wedding ring. That's what it was. We've got Sally Stevens with her wedding ring ruler. I'm really excited to see that. And then we've got the Shaded Arrows cushion as well. Keep watching. We'll still be on till 1 o'clock. Just remember that at 12 o'clock our deals on the heatwave end, so you've got just over an hour to go and get your heatwave deal. Don't miss out. We've only got 30 of these left now on our early bird, so do make sure you check those out as well. One postage and packaging all day, $3.95. Not going to pay any more or any less. Make sure you check out on those. So I am now, and I don't quite know how I keep getting this right. I've got a week off. I don't know how I've done this, but I looked at the schedule and I'm like, what? Woohoo! So I've got off until Friday next week where we're doing the borders and sashings on our block of the week. And then I'm in on Saturday and Sunday. So I think that's a bit of like, woohoo! You've got a whole weekend of me next weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. Thank you so much for your time. See you next week.